Day 4 of the American Baseball Championships presented by the Air Force Reserve. We've got a great elimination game for you. Game 10 here in our tournament in Clearwater, Florida at Spectrum Field. The Green Wave of Tulane, the Knights of UCF. One will move forward to the semifinals. One will be headed home. Let's see what happened earlier today. Our first ball game with a big-time win for Wichita State, as big as 12-1. They finished 12-5, a winner over the regular season champion and #1 seed ECU Pirates. And, of course, the 6th seed UCF will take on Tulane in our night match. Welcome in, everybody. Garrett Walbert alongside Jeff Brightwell. Haley Outen will join us momentarily. Jeff, 9 games up, 9 games down. Now it's all come to this. Who's going to get their spot in the semifinals? Who's going to move on to Saturday and have a chance to play for a title?
Backs are against the wall. These two teams going in different directions. Tulane, I know, a disappointing loss, makes their way to Friday, but UCF, the walk-off win over Memphis, they've got a little bit of momentum tonight.
UCF's got, Tulane's got that vaunted offense. They lead the conference in runs scored, leads the conference in home runs and extra base hits. They need to jump out early tonight. They've got to do something to get the extra base hits going. What are their keys for victory this evening?
Well, they need to score early. They need to bat around. They need a big inning. Only 3 extra base hits this entire tournament. You've got the player of the year and an outstanding freshman. They've got to score runs, and they've got to play a little bit more solid on a defense. A few miscues early so far in this tournament.
The Green Wave were in the winner's bracket and fell to Cincinnati, who jumped on them early and were able to hold a lead. So will that be a key tonight for UCF? Can they put some runs on the board, put some pressure on the Green Wave?
They would like to do what Cincinnati did to Tulane, score early and often and make Tulane chase them. They would like their starter to go deep as well. Try to stay out of that bullpen as long as you can, and maybe if you can win this game, set yourself up better for tomorrow.
Both of UCF starters have gone 5 innings pitched or longer so far in the tournament. We take a look at the player for Tulane, Trevor Jensen. He's had a nice tournament so far.
Yeah, the senior first baseman has a pair of hits, 326 coming into the ball game here this evening, and he can set the table, he can move runners over, he can get on, he can be productive for Hosie and Haskin.
Watch out for Dalton Wingo of UCF. The sophomore's hitting better than 500 in Clearwater.
Red hot for the right fielder. He's got 7 homers, 43 RBIs, but he's making his name known here at the American Conference Championships. Already 5 for 9 this week.
So Tulane and UCF will battle once again here in the Tampa Bay region with a chance to go to the semifinals and play tomorrow. We'll be back right after this quick break on the American Digital Network.
Opportunities present themselves every day. Opportunities that move us forward. Opportunities to serve part-time in your community. Explore your opportunities in the Air Force Reserve.
Here's your starting lineup for the Tulane Green Wave, led off by Trevor Jensen. Cody Hosie, the player of the year, will be at the hot corner and bat second. Hudson Haskin, freshman, all-conference selection in 3. Grant Matthews, Jonathan Artings, and David Bedgood will take us through the middle of the lineup. And the bottom 7 through 9 look like Nieman, Glancy, and Sal Gazzo, who's already homered once in this tournament. UCF will be the home team in today's matchup. They're 14 games over 500 on the year, 35-21. Tulane also a 30-plus game winner. The Green Wave are 32-25. They will be your visiting team. And there's a good look at the UCF Knights, just about an hour and a half down the road here from Clearwater in the Orlando area. They brought a nice contingent of fans. They will try and get the victory, their second of the week here tonight, and move on to Saturday.
Well, the winner here goes to face a upstart team in the Cincinnati Bearcats that made their way to the winner's bracket 2-0. They'll be waiting to see who wins this ball game. They're hoping for a long, drawn-out game with a lot of guys going into the bullpen, but Jordan Spicer hopes to put the clamps down on them. But Greg Lovelady's got his team playing well. Again, a nice win the other night over the Tigers. They got down to Memphis early, but then had to battle back, chipped away at it, and got the walk-off win. As you see, Jordan Spicer, the 6'3", 210-pound senior here from Florida. Spicer this year 2-0 in 13 outings, 12 starts, a 3.33 ERA, 54 innings, 44 hits, 23 runs, 20 of those earned, 34 walks to 41 strikeouts, just a 2.29 average against 4 wild pitches. He'll get a little wild as far as hitting guys, 10 hit batters on the year.
Here's the defense backing him up. Roberts in left, Alejo in center, and Wingo, who we previewed, in right field. George and Hernandez on the left side of the infield. Matthew Micah, all-conference selection at second base, and Tyler Osick, who can hit it a ton at first. Ben McCabe back again behind the plate for Jordan Spicer. Spicer comes in listed at 6'3", 210 pounds. He's a senior from Hialeah, Florida. Went to Polk State Community College. We welcome you into the American Digital Network's presentation of Game 10 here on Day 4. And Tulane looks like they are ready to go. Both these teams have had to play back-to-back days to get to this point. It's tough to go so long in this tournament and then have to face elimination, but on Friday, that's what it's all about. You saw Coach Jewett coming down the gangplank there. Spicer looks like he's ready to go. The first matchup between these teams happened on Tuesday, and Coach Jewett's club came away with the win 5-2. But Jeff, that game was a lot closer than it looked. Tulane scored 2 runs in the first, 3 runs in the second, and were shut out the final 7 innings.
Well, you got to remember, it's Roper that went 136 pitches for Travis Jewett in his 3rd season, 83 and 88 coming into the tournament. 18 years the assistant coach, a lot of it out west, then swung through Vanderbilt on that great staff, then got the job at Tulane. He's an offensive coach. If you look at the numbers, they led the league in 10 categories this season. They've hit the ball okay this week. They're just not getting the power numbers. I believe a couple doubles, 1 home run. They need to change that if they're going to advance to tomorrow.
They'd like to make the semifinals. And we are ready to roll here as the Green Wave will come to the plate as today's visiting team. Trevor Jensen, who's had a hot tournament so far, will lead things off for us. Senior hitting .326. Big, tall first baseman for the Green Wave. 16 doubles on the year, 7 homers, 39 RBIs. Jeff told you Spicer's numbers. He's undefeated with a low ERA. 12 starts on the year. Averages a little less than 1 strikeout per inning. Excited to see him in person. First pitch from him is 90 miles an hour, and we're underway.
Well, we'll see if Jensen can set the table. Pair of hits so far this week.
Spicer's second offering finishes a little bit low. The game before us, Wichita State all over ECU, the league champs. They gave up a few runs late and gave up an opportunity at a 10-run rule. But the Shockers win 12-5. They will play our first game tomorrow against UConn at 10 a.m. Jensen ahead 2-0. Won't swing and looks at called strike 1. That one 92 miles an hour.
Spicer got a start in Game 3 against the Green Wave. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned, a pair of walks. He struck out 9. He did it in just 95 pitches.
Pretty good little effort there. Spicer will deal. This one's popped up on the infield. Might actually come back foul. We'll see who's under it. George will make the call and makes the catch for the first out.
In fact, tonight's pitching matchup, it's going to be a rematch of that May 5th game. Game which UCF won 5-2. Nearly got away from him, just over to his left, but a nice grab by George.
Now Spicer will face Cody Hosie for the first time in the postseason. Conference Player of the Year. Has had some very sharp hits here in this tournament, but has yet to hit a home run. There's a big cut. Brought a little off of it at 85 miles an hour. Hosie hitting .390 on the year. 23 home runs, 60 runs driven in. That one got away from the backstop.
Well, not only no home runs, he has no extra base hits, just the 3 singles. He's walked just a couple of times, only 3 strikeouts.
Just got around on that one, strike 2.
Thing is, contact-wise, maybe you want to shorten the stroke up, but do you really want to take that big swing that's produced 23 home runs out of his hands?
Tulane fell to Cincinnati in yesterday's action. Did not have an extra base hit. See what Spicer's got up his sleeve, up in the count 0-2. Did Hosie offer? Yes, he did. Walks back to the dugout. And the Conference Player of the Year strikes out after Spicer fools him low.
4th strikeout of the tournament for Hosie, and he's starting to labor a little bit. Maybe starting to get frustrated as well. Remember, of his 23 home runs, he got out to a red hot start. He's cooled off a little bit as far as the power numbers the last 3 weeks.
No cooling off here. Hudson Haskin has had himself a nice tournament. Leading off here in the first with nobody on and 2 out. Haskin, the freshman, hitting .375, 19 doubles, 10 homers, 51 runs driven in. Inside out swing. That one goes towards the right side. That time of the year in the academic calendar where most sports are winding up. If not, they've already finished. You've got some golf, some tennis, little track and field, but everything else coming to a close. Baseball's about to take center stage across the country. The 1-1 Haskin evens it up. Spicer, a senior. And that rookie up there at the plate showing quite a bit of poise. Big hack there. That'll bring the count to 1-2.
Like what you see out of Spicer so far, establishing the strike zone, getting the easy pop-up by Jensen, quickly getting at it. Hosie applying the pressure on him.
We're up here in the press box right behind home plate. I look over to my right in the suites and I see Scott Guggens, J.D. Heilman, the coaching staff for Cincinnati, who will be in action tomorrow. Perfect pitch. Pulled the string, and a 1-2-3 inning. Haskin goes down. 2 Ks in the inning for Jordan Spicer, and UCF will bring their offense to the plate when we return. Couldn't get the bat off his shoulder. This is the American Digital Network. We'll be back after this.
This is St. Pete Clearwater, home to 35 miles of white sand bliss. But it's more than emerald surf and Gulf breezes. The beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of life, nature, art, music, or whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast in St. Pete Clearwater. Love the beach.
More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American, powered by determination.
UCF hitting .272 as a team with 107 doubles, 54 home runs tonight. They will line it up with Matthew Micah and Dallas Beaver, followed by Tyler Osick and Dalton Wingo, the sophomore hitting cleanup. Chandler Robertson follows Ray Alejo, and Ben McCabe, Anthony George, and Brandon Hernandez work your 1 through 9. Chase Selesky is your starting pitcher tonight for Tulane, looking to advance, and these two pitchers, Selesky and Spicer, have faced each other prior.
Face each other and had equally as good of a game. Chase Selesky this year, sophomore right-hander. 6-3, 14 outings, 13 starts, a 5.05 ERA, 67 2/3, 63 hits, 39 runs, 38 earned, 30 walks, and 66 strikeouts. 247 average against 8 wild pitches, 3 hit batters for the redshirt sophomore at John Carroll Catholic in Fort Pierce. You mentioned their matchup against each other. They faced off on May 5th this season. UCF would win the game 5-2 in New Orleans. We gave you Spicer's numbers. 6 innings, he struck out 9, gave up 1 earned run. Selesky matched him. 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 2 walks. He struck out 10.
Mirrored each other pretty well. Both teams have been successful as Matthew Micah starts things off. 2019 for both these teams, 30-plus wins. UCF has certainly vaulted in the standings the last couple of weeks in terms of RPI, catching people's attention. Micah looks on. Selesky's offering 92 miles an hour and inside. Micah 1 for 5 in the opener against Tulane. Green Wave won that one 5-2. The season series is even at 2 wins apiece. UCF won that series by scores of 4-2 and 5-2 in games 2 and 3. Tulane won the opener. Micah took that one inside, and it did get a piece of him. So a leadoff man aboard for UCF on the hit by pitch. Let's take a look at Dallas Beaver, who made a little history here in Clearwater with a single swing of the bat. Beaver powers this one into right field, not fielded cleanly by the Memphis Tigers, and they head home. UCF advances. Can't believe that was less than 24 hours ago. Feels so fresh, but a great moment for the Knights to mob the field.
Well, remember a couple of years ago, it was 3 seasons ago, they went 0-2. They were walked off on twice, so good for UCF to get one and experience that excitement and have a chance to get to the conference semifinals for a second time.
Beaver falls behind in the count 0-1. On the season, a .315 hitter in his junior season, 12 doubles, 12 homers, and 54 runs driven in. One of 2 players on the club with double-digit home runs. The other is Tyler Osick, who's standing on deck.
Beaver led the team in free passes this year, led it in walks, was hit 10 times this year. So if he can grab another freebie, sets it up for the heart of the order. They want to do the same thing Cincinnati did. Put Tulane back on their heels. Force them to make some big runs.
Selesky comes set. Micah, who runs well off first. And Beaver fouls that one back towards us in the press box. Count now 0-2. Doesn't look like Selesky hits many batters on the year. When he plunked Micah, it was just the 4th one all season in 67+ innings pitched. Now Beaver will settle in. Selesky working very deliberately. And time will be called by McCabe behind the plate. Make it Nieman.
Selesky hoping for this double play here as Tulane's turned 45 on that field turf, Turchin Stadium. UCF's only hit it at 28.
This one's put on the ground, could be 2. The flip to seconds in time, over to first, and Beaver hits into the double play. Great defense there by the Green Wave.
Well, it doesn't matter if you're on field turf or dirt. They're pretty good at fielding-wise. That'll be their 46th double play they've turned this year. Had it positioned well. Nice little flip there by Gazzo, and no trouble on the 6-4-3.
Now Tyler Osick will come to the plate for the Knights. Nobody on, 2 outs. Bottom of the first. Osick hitting .321. Just a point behind Micah. Osick in his senior season, in the earlier matchup against Tulane, went 1 for 4 with a run scored. But he did leave 4 on base.
They're going to have to get him going, just 1 for 8 so far.
Certainly has a powerful stroke. And of course, Osick has that MLB lineage.
Now, Osick not on the all-conference team this year, but a season ago was second-team all-conference in the American, 2-time American Player of the Week.
Count now goes to 1-2. Nice start for Chase Selesky. Can the Florida native get out of the inning quietly? No, this one's headed for the gap. Long way into right center field. Osick thinks he's got extra bases. They'll finally pick it up and fire it in. A 2-out double for the Knights.
Nice job by Osick as he delivers it into the alley. Osick with his 13th double of the year. That's good for 3rd on the team for UCF. Just his 2nd hit of the week, so breaking out of a slump just a little bit here through his first 2 ball games.
Down in the count, doesn't matter. Dropped a double into right center field. Now a man in scoring position for Dalton Wingo. Talked about how well he's hit. And, you know, with first base open and 2 outs, I'm happy that they're pitching to this young man and not giving him the intentional look. Send him down to first base without throwing a ball.
He leads UCF so far in the tournament with 5 hits, where he is 5 for 9. This UCF ball club hitting .274 so far through 2 games. Just 10 runs. They've had some extra base hits, 4 doubles and a home run.
This will get by the diving first baseman Jensen. They'll wave Osick around at third. The throw comes in, but it's up the line and not in time. RBI single for Dalton Wingo, and UCF's on the board first here in this elimination game.
Dalton Wingo continues to be impressive this week. His 44th RBI. They had taken off. Jensen was playing way over to his right, left that whole area open. He takes advantage of it. Goes to the pitch down and away, shoots it into right field, and UCF is on top.
One of the keys to the game, get out early against Tulane. They've put the pressure on them now. 2-out Hennig. Coming through with the RBI for Wingo. Now Chandler Robertson will come to the plate. They'll turn it around. Another left-handed bat for Coach Greg Lovelady's team. He's hitting .280 in his senior season. He's appeared in every game but 2, 51 starts.
Well, he's a transfer originally out of Canada. Came by way of Murray State. He was in the OVC. 63 games where he hit .369 with 7 home runs. Decided to test his talents in the American.
Selesky looking to get back into a groove, and 93 miles an hour. They'll swing through that one, and that feels good. Now 1-1 to Robertson.
Wingo 7 stolen bases this year.
Robertson had a double and an RBI. Went 1 for 3 in the game against Tulane. Won't offer at the 1-1, and now he's behind in the count. It's kind of the same place that Osick was before he doubled into the gap. Selesky will check the runner. Wingo does have 7 stolen bases on the year, so he runs well. Stunts at first. And Robertson will foul this one over the third base side.
Well, usually you would not want to try to run to the second out. However, you can challenge Nieman. Nieman's only thrown out 8 of 47 this year.
As it has tended to do in this tournament, the wind blowing in pretty good from right center field, right at the back of the pitcher. Don't know if it's going to knock down any hard hit balls to right tonight, but certainly something to be aware of if you're at the plate swinging for a fly ball. Selesky's offering is 88 miles an hour, and the count goes 2-2.
Last 2 nights we've had gusting winds anywhere from 14 to 17 miles an hour. Tonight listed at just 8 miles an hour, a little bit after 8 o'clock.
So a breeze for the fans in the ballpark. Selesky comes set. Just went over 20 pitches. He'll have to fire another. That one came in at 92 miles an hour, and now Nieman up from behind the plate, making sure everyone's aware. Runner on first and 2 out.
Selesky in that prior matchup did get his pitch count elevated a little bit in just 6 innings through 108 pitches.
Wingo, who had the RBI single, should be off with the pitch. Fastball again. This one 93, fouled back.
Chandler pretty good with 2 outs this year, 347 on the season.
That one's off the top of the press box. Doing a great job of battling up there at the plate.
Well, regardless of what happens, as you already talked about, over 20 pitches, 23 pitches. You're getting into the mid-20s now in just 1 inning. He'll be on pace for only about a 4 or 5 inning start if he keeps this up.
Wingo on first again, will be off with the pitch. He's working on his 10-yard sprints. Struck him out. Both teams will get a strikeout looking to end the first. But 1 run comes across on a pair of hits. 1 left on, no errors. UCF leads it 1-0, and Tulane will bring their vaunted offense to the plate when we return here at the American Baseball Championships, presented by the Air Force Reserve.
all dream about our next vacation. But some of us turn those dreams into action. The bookers, the doers, they hit that confirmation button and let's goers. Because bookers know that the perfect place to stay is right there for the booking. Be a booker at Booking.com, the world's #1 choice for booking accommodations.
Bernie scores! 3 strikeouts in a row. Dominance for a 4th straight year. Cueto from 30! Unbelievable.
And be able to celebrate this type of championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
Greg Lovelady there, looking to try and push his team to the semifinals. Pretty good resume, Jeff.
An outstanding resume. First of all, you start off as a player down at Miami, win a couple of national championships. He becomes the coach here at UCF, and his first 3 seasons has been outstanding. He's never lost or won less than 34 games, chasing that this year. Started out at Miami, his alma mater, went to Wright State, became an assistant, moved up to the associate head coach in 07. In 2014, he takes the head coaching job, goes 35, 43, 44, a pair of regionals, takes the Knights to the regionals his first year in that 40-22 season, barely missed in 2018 at 35-21.
Now Grant Matthews at the plate for Tulane. A couple of strikeouts and a pop-out. They went quietly to start the ball game. Jordan Spicer with a nice start. Spicer last year as a junior went 4-1, started just 6 games. This year undefeated, 2-0 across 12 starts. That's after he started his career at Polk State. You see some fans enjoying the ball game here in Clearwater. It's a cool Knights hat that he has on.
Is that a New York Knights hat?
Kind of a retro look. This one's pulled but foul by a few feet down into the corner. 330 feet to the corners here at Spectrum Field. 401 feet straightaway center into that batter's eye. Great thing about it, and we saw some great plays earlier, it's a padded wall that's just under 10 feet tall. So you can get up there, you can make plays, and you can crash into the wall and not seriously hurt yourself. Matthews now even in the count, 1-1. Just pokes this one into left field. Right over the drawn-in third baseman. George couldn't get a glove on that one.
UCF does a lot of shifting on the infield. You've seen it this week. They were pulled to the right. They brought George in a little bit in the grass, just pokes it over his head. If they play straight away, it's probably a soft line or a ground out to Hernandez, but modern-day scouting reports, you're trying to play the percentages, take away those base hits. Tip your cap, Grant Matthews got his 3rd hit of the week.
Now Jonathan Artigues will come to the plate for Tulane. Junior's hitting .317 on the year. He started every game for the Green Wave. Gets into one. Alejo's got a track on it in center. 1 pitch, 1 out to get Artigues. That's the first out of the inning. Quick at bat for him.
Goes after one a little bit low. Straight up, easy out there for Alejo.
Now one of 2 sophomores near the bottom of the lineup for Tulane, David Bedgood. Left-handed hitting DH will come to the plate. Some Knights fans there. They brought that young Knight fan out to cheer their squad on. 1 out runner on first for Tulane. That's off the glove of Osick. It'll get into shallow right field in foul territory. They're going to bring Grant Matthews to third and put the hold on him. A hard hit ball. Osick literally had time to blink before it was on him. And now 2 in scoring position for Tulane.
Just their 4th extra base hit so far this week. They've had a double, now 2 doubles, and a pair of home runs. And you never know, that could get them going. A little hit like that deflects off the glove. You get in there. You get to the bottom of the order. Here's Nieman looking for just 1 hit so far this week. However, Tulane's been able to get on base. They've led the tournament with 11 base on balls on offense.
How good is Tyler Osick over at first base? No errors on the year. And because I think part of how hard the ball was hit, and also in deference to him, that ball got by him, and it's the 2nd hit of the ball game. Tulane with a chance to not only tie this thing up, but to maybe take the lead now with Frankie Nieman, the 2nd sophomore in the lineup, coming to the plate. Nieman, a .322 hitter, 36 runs driven in on the year. First pitch swinging, and he crushes one foul left side of the ballpark.
If he can get a single and give the Green Wave a 2-1 lead, and they can get things going with Glancy on deck and then Gazzo down in the hole, that's when they're really effective. An offense like this that scores a lot of runs, play ahead, get UCF to try to chase you down.
This is Tulane's 5th appearance in the American Baseball Championships. They came in 4-8. They are now 5-9. Looking to get into the semifinals. Last conference tournament title they won, 2005, when they were the #1 overall seed in the NCAA regionals. That was back in the Conference USA days. Matthews off third. You've got Bedgood on second. Wow, great pitch. 84 miles an hour. Took a little something off of it. Nieman falls behind 0-2.
It's been showing velocity, as you mentioned, dropped it down to 84 miles an hour. Really fooled him. Was trying to sit on a fastball there. Got a waste pitch or two if he wants it to here against Nieman.
The sophomore stares on, and they won't ring him up there. Nieman went 1 for 4 in the opener against UCF. First baseman Osick in right around on the grass. Matthews off the bag at third. They're going to say that Nieman went around. Ball was dropped by McCabe. He quickly came up, tagged him. That's the 3rd strikeout of the ball game for Jordan Spicer.
Well, tough one there with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Really wanted a ball in play because you didn't have the double play in order. Check swing of the ball in the dirt. If you just get a ground ball up the middle or a fly ball, you're able to tie it up. Now all of a sudden you're facing Glantz, who's just 1 for 5 and a chance to get out of the inning.
Glancy 1 for 5 over the first 2 games of the tournament. Batting in the 8-hole today. I think Nieman was pretty committed to swinging that pitch. He kept it low and outside. Tough to do anything with it. Spicer's fastball catches the corner. 92 miles an hour for strike 1.
Luke Glancy's played in 42 games, 32 starts this year, 6 multi-hit games, 7 multi-RBI games. He'll have his 8th if he connects here.
Spicer trying to keep it a 1-0 ball game for his club. The 0-1. And that one misses. Tulane's record now after a pair of games in Clearwater is 32-25. They have gone over 30 wins for the 35th time in program history. But Jeff, the first time since 2016, back-to-back losing seasons for Tulane. It looks like they have righted the ship under Coach Travis Jewett. This senior and junior class has had a lot to do with it.
12-11 in the league. Had it not been for a rain out at Memphis, could have been the #2 overall seed in this. So they were rained out. They finished 12-11, so they were tied to the loss column. Just that half game back in the win column cost them #2 in the league. The RPI in the mid-90s. That's probably what is going to cost them maybe a chance at the at-large this year.
2 balls and a strike, 2 outs. We'll talk more about NCAA regionals as the game goes on, but gotten some updates, new bracket projections. Some exciting things on tap for the American. Glancy offers it this one, puts it high into the air, center field. Alejo's got a track on it. And Tulane will strand 2 runners on, no runs come across. We'll go to the bottom of the second with UCF up 1-0, and the Knights coming to the plate. It'll be 6, 7, 8. Alejo, McCabe, and George when we return.
Are you mom? Get set. Let's go. It goes.
It's all right, huh?
NBA superstar.
Gatorade Zero. All the electrolytes, zero sugar. Get more out of zero.
More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American, powered by determination.
One to nothing UCF. Tulane will head out back to the field, make it bottom of the second now. And UCF will bring Ray Alejo to the plate. Alejo, the center fielder for UCF, had a nice little home run last night. He's had a nice tournament as well. Alejo, 1 for 5 yesterday. 3 runs scored, 2 runs driven in. You can see that home team third base dugout, and that is actually Coach Lovelady, who, when you look at it, you read the notes, he likes to coach from that end of the dugout, and it's kind of unique to him, but I'm sure he has a nice look the way that he wants it from the back end of the dugout. Alejo stands in. Chase Selesky hit a batter, gave up a pair of hits, but got a strikeout of Chandler Robertson to end the inning. Now Alejo looks at 1-0.
We talk about Coach Lovelady, where he likes to stand. It's funny, we all talk about player superstitions. But coaches have just as many, or their little quirks. He likes to sit in the back. We see coaches bring their own stools. Darren Schoenrock, I know, brings a music stand that he puts his notes on and travels everywhere.
The 1-1 to Alejo. I'm sure Coach Lovelady learned a lot of things in the years growing up, playing for the Miami Hurricanes, winning national champions as a player in 1999 and 2001. I think it was 99 that they had a 1-run win against Florida State in the national championship game in Omaha. That must have been a crazy atmosphere for those two Florida teams. And then they pounded Stanford and Mark Marquis in 2001. And that was when Stanford was one of the hottest teams.
Right.
They made the World Series 4 years in a row, playing for a title every year, just couldn't come through again.
Well, at the least, Greg Lovelady, if he sits on that side of the dugout, can make sure everything's okay in the dugout. No nonsense in the dugout.
Here's the 2-2. Alejo gets into this one. It's high, but it won't be far enough. Grant Matthews will trot in and left and make the catch. Next pitch for Selesky will be his 30th here. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Coming to the plate will be the catcher, Ben McCabe. McCabe, 3 for 5, an RBI and a run scored in yesterday's victory over Memphis.
It was 25 pitches after the first inning, so if he can get 3 quick outs, he'll get it close to back on track.
McCabe looks at called strike one. Yesterday's game between UCF and Memphis went extras. It was Dallas Beaver, as you saw, that walked it off in the bottom of the 10th. Got to put all that drama behind you. Settle yourself for a game like this, or you'll be headed home. McCabe behind in the count now, 0-2.
We talked a lot about Dalton Wingo, now 6 for 10 in the tournament, had the RBI single here, but McCabe's been pretty good, hitting .500, 4 for 8 so far.
Defense comes set. Selesky's pitch pulled to the left side. Hosie for the second out. Pulled him off the bag, but he kept a foot on it. Just had to go across the foul line. And now 2 outs. Glad nobody ran into each other there.
A little bit to the home plate side of first on that throw by Hosie. Nice job by Jensen. He just stepped back. Last thing he wants that ball to get knocked loose. Kind of threw off the front foot. He had it in plenty of time, but leaning forward. Didn't get that back plant foot. Nice job, though.
Now the third baseman, Anthony George, will come to the plate, batting in the 8-hole tonight. George on the season, a .218 hitter. He did go 1 for 4 yesterday. 3 home runs, 7 doubles, 14 runs driven in. George will be the final out of the inning as that one finishes in Matthews' glove. He makes 2 putouts in left. We're 2 complete, headed to the top of the third with UCF leading Tulane 1-0. Green Wave trying to roll when we come back here on the American Baseball Championships presented by the Air Force Reserve.
This is St. Pete Clearwater, home to Clearwater Beach, the #1 beach in the U.S. as chosen by travelers on TripAdvisor. It's not just white sand and Gulf breezes. Beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast. Visit stpclearwater.com. Love the beach.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle, a big save, a clutch hit,
or a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
There is power in the sportsmanship that is displayed across the American.
Power is respecting opponents,
officials,
student-athletes,
coaches, and team representatives.
Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
profanities, or other improper actions while at the game.
The American.
Power for life.
The American. Power for life.
The American. Power for life.
(9-1-2) coming to the plate. You see Frenchie's, Clearwater Beach and Dunedin. You can catch Frenchie's out on Clearwater Beach. Beautiful view of the Gulf of Mexico. As night's still slowly falling here in Clearwater. 8:21. We've gone under 90 degrees, so should settle in to be a very nice night here at the ballpark. We'll go to the top of the third inning. Tulane coming to the plate with Gazzo, Jensen, and Hosie, Player of the Year, coming up.
Humidity down from where it was 2 days ago. Pretty comfortable day yesterday. Frenchie's, as you just saw, it's taken a few home run balls this week, but it's been right field today that has seen a lot of the action in game 1.
Gazzo went 1 for 4 yesterday with a run in the loss to Cincinnati.
Sal trying to get to the semifinals. And he and his brother will be playing in the same day again. Paul, of course, playing for UConn tomorrow morning against Wichita State.
Gazzo went 1 for 4 against UCF in the opener, but that was a pretty significant one. A home run that got out of here in a hurry. We've averaged a home run plus per ball game here in this tournament. Our leader is Jake Washer, who has 3. Mason O'Brien tied a record as this one's chopped at the plate. O'Brien from Wichita State had 10 total bases. He had a grand slam, another home run, and a double. Count is 2-1.
21 home runs now through 17 games after the prior elimination game today. And you mentioned O'Brien. What an afternoon.
2 balls and a strike to Gazzo. Goes the other way with it. Fouled over the third base side. Great to look out in the ballpark, see fans walking on the concourse with their families, people at the bar stools, and Frenchie taking in the game, praying for a home run ball to come their way. Maybe catch the team afterwards while they're at the bus, get an autograph. The access that you have to these players who are one day going to be stars at the professional level is just kind of unprecedented. That's what makes college baseball so great.
I'd say enjoy it while you can. That's what makes the college game so good, even the minor league game. The further they go up, of course, the access to the players gets very, very limited, but a nice time to be out here. And it's a good tournament because it's the first time a lot of the parents close family can come together. Not everybody can make it in town for a home game. You can't go watch them on the road, but everyone a lot of times can gather at a league tournament.
You definitely want to be there as a parent if this ends up being your son's last game. Great environment. This one's pulled on the ground by Gazzo. Micah flips to first, no problem.
Easy pickup. Gazzo now 2 for 9 on the week. Left it over the plate. Not a bad pitch to hit. Just didn't get enough barrel on it.
Spicer's now set down 3 green wave in a row. Top of the order, Trevor Jensen coming to the plate. And that's exactly the way UCF wants it. Nobody on base for the top of the order. Right-hander stares in. Popped out to the third baseman in his first at bat. Works himself ahead in the count.
Jensen now has started 56 of the 57 games. We've talked a lot about Hosie and Haskin, but Jensen very solid this year. Second on the team in most offensive categories.
Trevor drew a walk last night, but was not able to get a hit. That one buzzes the tower. 92 miles an hour coming in, and that'll make him fall backwards.
Well, they got to try to generate something here for Hosie and Haskin. They've only scored 9 runs. That's 6 out of 8 teams so far coming into Friday in the league championships. And that's what they were going to fall back and rely on. I thought this team was going to be able to hit their way at least to Saturday, maybe all the way to Sunday.
Nobody on, 1 out for Jensen, who's ahead in the count now, 2-1. Spicer comes set and delivers. Tulane in the regular season won series in the non-conference play against George Washington, Lamar, UC Riverside, and Houston Baptist. In league play, they started off hot, Jeff. They took 2 of 3 from Cincinnati, 2 of 3 from Wichita State. They swept USF, but they were not able to win any of their 4 remaining conference series down the stretch. They were able to get wins, but not take everything. That one comes inside, and it is called strike 2, so the count runs full.
Well, you mentioned those first 3 series, and that's when everyone around the league started to perk up and look over, beating Cincinnati 19-4 the next week against Wichita State. Had a couple of 12-run games. They split those 2. Then the 22-run game against USF April 13th.
See if they set up outside to Jensen. Breaking ball, can't drive it. 87 miles an hour. Pretty evenly matched series between these two teams. Tulane, 25 wins. UCF, 23. That includes the one that Tulane registered to start this tournament. This one's fisted, popped up on the infield, and the catch made by Hernandez for out number 2.
Well, keeping them off balance. Not a lot of hard contact, a lot of soft contact so far in the game for the Green Wave. Again, jammed them off the handle. Now the team kind of has gone, as you see him pick it up there, a little bit like Hosie. Hosie got out to a red-hot start. Had 21 of his 23 home runs through April 23rd. He's had 2 since then. They both came in the same game against Houston on May 11th. So they don't need maybe him to get cranked up to the pace he was on earlier, but they do need Hosie to start driving some balls if they're going to survive to tomorrow.
First pitch swinging, 92, and he fouls it away. That'll find the chairbacks. Hosie, a 2019 Golden Spikes Award and Dick Hauser Trophy semifinalist. He was the American Conference Player of the Week twice. Top 2 in the country with 23 home runs. The nation's leader has 25.
Oh, and Hosie held that lead for a long time. But again, that power drought starting on April 23rd, they overtook him. Still to remain second and only hit a home run or 2 home runs over about the last month. Pretty darn good.
Spicer wants to come inside on Hosie, goes 93 miles an hour. but it's off the plate. Hosie with a very quick bat, 6'4". Can get the barrel through the zone very quickly. Won't go after that one. Good eye, 1-1.
That's what impresses me about him, that 6'4" frame, those very long arms, the speed at which he gets the bat through. Longer you are, usually it takes long to get that bat through, but he'll whip it around.
Spicer being very deliberate. Behind in the count, 2-1. That one is smashed right through the side. It'll end up in left field, and Hosie's on board with a single.
But just what I talked about, he has some pretty amazing bat speed for a guy that's 6'4", those really long arms. He came inside, was able to roll over on it. Goes down around the knees, just drives it out of the left field. And now we'll get to see one of the best freshmen in the league, and a little bit of a passing of the torch this weekend. If they don't advance past Sunday, the great hitting Cody Hosie will move on to some pro ball, and Hudson Haskin likely the guy that'll take his place as the offensive force in the lineup.
Haskin hitting .374. That's second nationally amongst all freshmen in D1 baseball. First pitch swinging. This has a chance to stay in foul territory in front of UCF's dugout. And the catch is made by George. Tulane gets a hit, but strands another runner. Their third of the game. We'll go to the bottom of the third, and UCF with a little momentum coming to the plate on the pop in foul territory. We'll be back after this on the American Digital Network. Let's actually go down to Haley Outen for more on the field.
As UCF takes a 1-0 lead into the bottom of the third, head coach Greg Lovelady loves the way that his team has been playing the last 3 to 4 weeks. He thinks they've been super competitive and that they haven't just been finding ways to win, they've been finding different ways to win. But of course the message today is to survive and advance, and Lovelady feels like if his team can keep doing what they've been doing the last 3 to 4 weeks, they have a pretty good shot at it.
Haley, you're right there by their dugout. They're pretty pumped up right now, feeling good going into the at-bat.
Right now, very positive, energetic vibe.
They've got that 1-run lead. Let's see what they can do here in their third inning coming out against Chase Selesky. He hasn't been bad, Jeff. He's got the ability to blow the fastball by some hitters. He's already got 3 strikeouts in the game.
Yeah, they've been going back and forth, so it's going to be another good matchup. It looks like between Spicer and Selesky, and through 2 innings, he's got the pitch count up a little bit, got control of it an inning ago. I believe only about 8 pitches thrown, 2 innings, 2 hits, just that 1 run and 1 strikeout.
It'll be 9-1-2 coming to the plate as the sun sets here in beautiful Clearwater, Florida. Hanging out on the concourse with Dad and Grandpa. We're glad you're spending the beginning of your Memorial Day weekend with us on the American Digital Network. Hernandez, Micah, and Beaver coming to the plate. Oh, a little family time out on the berm for the Green Wave.
That breeze and the 89-degree temperature allows you. That one of the first blankets we've seen out there. Saw a family out there last night in right center field, but a chance to just lounge out there this evening.
Look, I've got 3 kids. That's a great place to bring the kids and say, okay, this entire berm, it's yours. Go play. Me and Mom are going to talk.
Don't bug me.
Daddy wants to watch a baseball game. Just don't leave the berm. Hernandez quickly behind in the count. Selesky up on him 0-2 now. First at bat coming for Hernandez here in the bottom of the third inning. Infield's all the way back on the grass. This one's laced in towards the gap. Glancy going back, and he will make the catch. That one hung up there for him for the first out of the inning.
Shot over there now. Hernandez goes 0 for 8 so far through the first 2+ game.
Now the leadoff man, Matthew Micah, who was hit by a pitch to get on, was eventually stranded. Micah 2 for 3 in yesterday's 8-7 win over Memphis. He didn't see a lot to hit. He went 2 for 3, but he also drew 3 walks. He's just a guy who was on base constantly yesterday. Only ended up scoring 1 run.
Well, they got another freebie here this evening. He was hit by a pitch in the first. He's eliminated on that 6-4-3 double play. 3 for 8, so he's hitting about .417 in the tournament.
Waits on the 0-1, lifts it into the air. Haskin, medium depth, makes the second out of the inning.
Well, now Selesky's starting to keep these guys in the air. Of the last 5 outs, 4 have been in the air here this evening. And you get that wind blowing in about 7 miles an hour. Just a routine fly for Haskin out in center.
Dallas Beaver back up to the plate as the flags blow in towards us. In towards the pitcher's back. Beaver hit into that double play. He's 0 for 1, swinging there. Beaver only had 1 hit in yesterday's win against Memphis, but it was the critical one, the walk-off in the bottom of the 10th. Dallas in his junior season, as that one heads to the backstop. Beaver with 12 home runs, 54 runs batted in. Got to respect his power when he comes to the plate, even with the wind blowing in. Beaver listed at 6'2", 220. He's a junior from Kissimmee, Florida, over on the Space Coast. This one misses in the zone again by Selesky, who's over 40 pitches now. Count goes to 2-1.
Has him ahead of the count, trying to elevate this pitch count. A quick 2 outs. He could use a long at bat here.
Draws another ball from Selesky. In 70 innings pitched, he's walked 30. The big 6'3" right-hander takes a deep breath and fires. That one was upstairs, and he swung through it at the letters.
Wanted something to pull and drive, couldn't make contact. See where he puts this one. Leaves it letter high, couldn't lay off of it.
Selesky trying to head back to the dugout with this pitch, and Beaver just gets a piece of it and fouls it back.
He's going to be sitting mid-40 pitch count here through 3 innings. But that puts him on pace for about 6 innings. That's where he was in the prior matchup.
Dallas Beaver was 2 for 10 over the first 2 games coming into this one. Looking for his first hit tonight, and he'll draw a walk as Selesky was walking back to the dugout. Thought he had the strikeout looking. Instead, he'll face Tyler Osick with a man on.
First walk of the ball game for Selesky. That's going to be the 9th walk taken by UCF so far in 2.5 games in the tournament.
How close was it? Let's take a little closer look here. He's heading back to that first base dugout. Instead, he'll do a 180. Ooh, a little bit low, Jeff.
Yeah, right below that kneecap.
Osick with the big RB, with the big double to right center field. He would later come around and score our game's first run. That was in the first inning. Osick hitting over 320 now, fouls that one back. 13 doubles, good for 3rd on the team. And Osick also with 10 home runs.
His 45th run of the season. Good power hitter here. If he can drive one into the alley, Dallas Beaver, he'll have a chance to score from first.
Takes that one down low. Nieman's got a breakdown to get it. Osick in his final season with UCF. Grew up in the New York area. He's a redshirt senior in 2019. Last season as a redshirt junior, 9 home runs, 62 hits, 56 runs driven in. He was an all-conference selection in the American. Primarily a left fielder. This year, first base. He's taking all the way there. Count now 1-2. Keith, the son of Keith Osick. Tyler's dad spent 9 seasons in the majors with the Pirates, Brewers, Orioles, and Washington. Got to protect the plate here. Count now 1-2 with a man on and 2 out. Sends the runner. No, they're going to hold him at first base. And Beaver will not advance on that ball getting away from Nieman.
Well, despite Nieman only throwing out 4 runners, you don't want to risk it even a dirt ball. Beaver only has 4 stolen bases this year. And the last thing you want to do is take off. Nieman guns you out. You're back in the dugout.
Hosie standing in the back of the box. He's worked himself even in the count. Already 1 extra base hit. Sends this into the air to Haskin. Going back, and he makes the catch for the final out of the inning. Missed a double, maybe a triple by a couple of feet in the air, but Tulane will hold them scoreless for 2 innings in a row after UCF went up 1-0 in the first. We're 3 complete, headed for the 4th when we return. Green Wave coming to the plate on the American Digital Network.
When everything's a little different, one thing remains the same: the chance to make a real difference. Because the norm here is anything but. Every day our volume grows. Every moment a bit more colorful than the last. From a city that's 300 years old, we inspire things that are entirely new. Because that's what creates the change the world desperately needs.
People say we're big. Wow. Well, what is big?
This is big.
It's an energy. An opportunity.
This is big, baby!
So go on. Dream big. Because big is just the beginning.
I got it. This is big.
The sun setting here in Clearwater, Florida. Still plenty of people out on the beach in advance of the Memorial Day weekend. Just a couple of miles to our west. The big light standards come on here at Spectrum Field. This is the American Baseball Championships presented by the Air Force Reserves. UCF leading 1-0, but Tulane with the swing of a bat could tie things up here in the top of the 4th inning.
Told you about Selesky Spicer, 3 innings, 3 hits, no runs, no walks. He struck out 3, sitting in only 40 pitches, so he's in very, very good shape right now as he goes to the heart of the order.
Grant Matthews singled into left field but was stranded on base back in the 2nd inning. He'll come today for the 2nd plate appearance. Matthews, the junior, hitting .320. Hometown product, grew up in New Orleans, went to Country Day. Swings through that one.
Same shift they had on Matthews 2 innings ago when he knocked that single over Georgia's head. So they'll shift over to the right. They'll bring Georgia in right around the lip of the infield at 3rd.
Matthews has had some big games this season. If he could dial one up here, that would help Tulane. He finished a triple short of the cycle twice this year. Did it against Ole Miss and against USF. I would assume in all your time doing baseball you've called a cycle.
No.
No?
Nope. Been close. You know, in the big leagues, there's been more no-hitters than cycles. That's the toughest thing to get.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Learn something new every baseball game.
The triple's the hard part, in my opinion.
2 balls and a strike to Matthews. Puts this one high into the air. Gives a charge to Haskin. But the ball really not flying well out through the right and right center field. Getting knocked down. And that's just another long fly out.
That's a 6 pop-up or fly-out so far for Tulane. They're trying to push it out there, just up under it a little bit.
Now Jonathan Artigues will come to the plate. In the earlier game against UCF, he went 0 for 4. Redshirt junior will take that one for ball 1.
Up and in, tried to solid, but missed him in the jersey. Looking for his first hits this week. He started out 0 for 7 under the fly out the center of the second inning.
He'll settle into the back of the box, ahead in the count 1-0. That one just not caught cleanly by McCabe. Artigues, coming into Clearwater, had been 7 of 17 in his career and had gotten into 5 or 6 ball games. So one of the more experienced Green Wave team members. Facing Jordan Spicer. The senior comes set for the Knights. That one finishes a little too far inside. David Bedgood standing on deck. Count climbs to 3-1 in favor of Artigues.
Got to look fastball here. 3-1 hitters count. Have the chance to get a base runner with less than 2 outs, and Bedgood on deck, who doubled back in the second.
Got his fastball. Hit that one on the ground to Hernandez. Can't get to first base in time. Second out of the inning.
Easy roller to short for Hernandez. He's going to have no issue with this. Plenty of time, just a smooth throw over to first base. A little bit on the right field side. So Bedgood with the double, just the 4th extra base hit for Tulane this week, with nobody on to drive in.
Spicer doing pretty well against Tulane. He's a 21-year-old senior. He will turn 22 later in June. Was drafted by the Twins in the 26th round 2 years ago. That was coming out of Polk State Community College, where he was the Suncoast Conference Pitcher of the Year. Now David Bedgood looking on, behind in the count 0-1. Bedgood 2 for 8 in the tournament coming in. Got a piece of that one, but just fouls it back towards the on-deck circle.
Well, this UCF defense, Greg Lovelady, if you'll just watch that infield, it's pretty standard for right-handers and left-handers. He's basically got no third baseman right now, but Hernandez back up at short, nearly behind the bag. He rotates right, he rotates left. For the most part, teams have a difficult time, and that's why you run that shift, finding that space, or able to direct the ball to the open space. If he can get one to third base, he's going to have an easy hit. That's easier said than done. I imagine he's going to try to run one in on him.
Now Spicer's got what he wants. The 0-2. Left out over the plate. Bedgood smashes it, but right into the glove of Dalton Wingo. Tulane goes 1-2-3, and Spicer has set down 4 in a row. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th when we return here on the American Baseball Championships, presented by the Air Force Reserve.
Opportunities present themselves every day. Opportunities that move us forward. Opportunities to serve our time in your community. Explore your opportunities in the Air Force Reserve.
Strong in mind, strong in body, strong in school, sport, life.
The grind is 10% physical and 90% mental. The mind is the power.
The body is a means to jump higher, run faster,
be smarter, and live longer.
There is no weakness when it comes to seeking help.
We are stronger together.
So let's talk about it.
A waterfall starts with one drop.
Change starts with one person.
The American is dedicated to ending the stigma related to mental health
and promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
We welcome you back in. Tulane back out in the field, trailing 1-0. Bottom of the fourth, and the home team, the UCF Knights, coming to the plate with Wingo, Robertson, and Alejo due up. Pretty good pitching performances for UCF starters. Both of them went 5+ innings in their first 2 American tournament games here in Clearwater. Talked about it in the open. They could really use that kind of performance tonight, and they've gotten it so far from Jordan Spicer, who limited Tulane to just 3 hits and no runs so far. Selesky hasn't been much worse. I mean, he gave up the run early. He shut him down 2 innings in a row. Got a strikeout in the ball game, and he's only allowed 1 walk.
Well, it came out of the bullpens when they played in that early May ball game. This is very similar as UCF on the road got a 2nd inning run. Tulane would tie it up in the bottom of the 6th. Then it came down to the bullpens, and UCF's bullpen a little bit stronger that night. It ended up David Litchfield threw an inning to get his first win. Salucci grabbed the loss in 1 inning. He gave up 4 earned runs as UCF would put up 4 runs in the top half of the 8th to pull off the 5-2 win.
Dalton Wingo takes a look at ball 1. Right as the regular season came to a close, time is called. I think a ball that the kids were playing with out in left center field came over the wall. We've all been there, right? Haskin flips it back to the little critters.
Here's when Dad gets upset. I remember former All-American Adam Amar, who was from Lake Mary, Florida, playing a series in Tampa at the old USF baseball stadium. Remember the standalone dugouts? Would stand behind there, throw tennis balls off the back of the dugout, and multiple times that weekend the tennis ball would get loose onto the field.
Uh-oh.
Well, they've come a long way in facilities over at USF since that old ballpark.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a better dual setup with a softball stadium backing into a baseball stadium in the country. So innovative for what they did, and one of the better environments throughout the conference to take in a baseball or softball game. Wingo behind 1-2, and he's toast. Swings through a high fastball. 2nd strikeout of the night for Chase Selesky.
Just could not lay off that one. May have left it a little bit up. I'm going to take another look here to the right-hander. Yeah, a little up at the ladders. Hard to lay off those high fastballs.
UCF's offense, a big part of how successful they have been this year. Late in the season, they beat Florida Atlantic on a Tuesday night. That rare victory, they beat every Florida opponent on their schedule in 2019. They beat Florida, Florida State, Miami. First time since 1985 the Knights knocked off all 3 in the same year. Newsflash, none of the current players were alive then, so it had been a while. And I guarantee you every one of those guys wants to keep this season going. Chandler Robertson ahead in the count, 1-0 now. Robertson pulls this one, but foul. Right side. Been pretty impressed with UCF's speed on the bases. When they have runners, they're not afraid to be aggressive, take bags.
Well, they got a pair with some big stolen base numbers. Micah 31, Alejo 15. They've got Osick just out of double digits at 9.
The 1-1 is inside, catches the corner. Robertson now behind in the count, 1-2.
That'll really allow them to stretch things out. Not so much the stolen bases. You get a guy on first, it's easy to go first to third, second to home, first to home. They'll be aggressive. They'll put the pressure on the Tulane defense.
Selesky just struck out Wingo to start the inning. He's already punched out Robertson. This one misses. UCF has had 26 games this year that were decided between 2 runs or fewer. Been able to come out, win a lot of those ball games. They're 9-4 in 1-run games, 7-6 in 2-run games. And they added to that total last night with the walk-off against Memphis. Selesky staring into Nieman. 2-2. Thought he was going to get the ring up there.
Well, this one's shaping up to be another low-scoring affair. We're nearly midway through this ball game, just a 1-run contest at 1-0. And you got to think at one point, if Tulane comes away with another scoreless inning in the 5th, really feeling the pressure of their offense not coming through this week.
Hosie and Gazzo come set on the left side of the infield. That one just got away from him. Not a great at bat for Selesky, who's walking around the hill right there. Now a runner on with 1 out. Second walk issued of the game by Chase. Now he'll face Ray Alejo.
Well, the all-conference outfielder, average-wise not so hot at 1 for 11. Does have a home run, though, so he can get a swing off. Going to come out and meet with him real quick. And so far, Selesky in this ball game up to 59 pitches, 38 for strikes. Only the second walk of the game, hit 1 batter, so a little wild, but not terrible right now.
Daniel Latham, pitching coach, will come out and talk with Selesky, who's still just a sophomore. You know, we expect so much out of our heroes when they come out on the field of play, but you got to remember, some guys still 18, 19 years old. He's pitched a nice game. He's only given up 2 hits through 3 1/3 innings pitched. Unfortunately, one of them came around for him and made it a 1-0 ball game. Just don't want to add to the ledger here. Talks with the pitching coach, Mr. Latham. And now we're ready to get back underway.
Well, he's done enough to keep his team very much in this ball game. Again, just waiting for that breakout inning for Tulane. But again, the innings are going to start running out fairly quickly here in the next inning or so if they don't get something going.
Alejo flew out to left field in his first at bat against Selesky. And with 1 out, let's see how aggressive UCF will be with a base runner. Alejo won't offer on that one. Ray on the season, hitting over 300 at .303. He has 18 doubles, 4 triples to lead the team, 8 homers, and 29 runs driven in. The junior center fielder is slugging over 500. Already has 1 home run in this tournament. That one's pop foul. First base side.
Prior to UCF, appeared in 13 games back in 2016 with Ole Miss. Had to sit out in 2017 with the red shirt last year. 55 games all-start. Second team all-conference. So a 2-time all-conference recipient.
Alejo's got that special blend of a quick bat, quick feet. One of the leaders on the team in stolen bases, 15 swipes in 20 attempts. He's even in the count now, 1-1 after the toss over to first base. Time is called.
Robertson 5 steals, sits at first base.
Alejo takes a look at called strike 2.
Down to the count, it's going to have to choke up, try to get a ball in play. Want to stay out of the middle infield. Try to get something elevated a little bit. You do have Matthews playing back a lot out in left field, about 10 feet from the warning track. Haskin back in center, and then Glancy about normal in right field. You've got a lot of room out there if you can poke it out of the infield.
Ball and 2 strikes to Alejo. Tomahawks this one to the left side of the infield. Could be 2. 6, and it'll stop at the 4. Big slide in there by Robertson. And reaching on the fielder's choice will be Alejo. Let's take a closer look.
Well, it looks like Artigues had decided to eat it before contact was made. That was going to be a long double play. And at the last second, it never came off the bag either. So there's not any interference, obviously, on Robertson. Wasn't able to kill the bag. Hit deep in the hole. Gazzo did a nice job get the force out at second base.
Ben McCabe steps up to the plate, number 40 for UCF. 65 pitches now for Chase Zaleski, with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, they expect big things out of Ben McCabe out of Sarasota, Florida. 3-year letter winner at Sarasota High School. All-State, All-Star as well. Hit .310 with 14 RBI. The Sailors runner-ups in the state tournament a season ago, and they were in the Final Four back in 2017.
McCabe went 1 for 4 against Tulane in the opener. Stares in here. He'll continue to wait. Freshman hitting .260 on the year. Grounded out in his first at bat. Runner takes off. The throw down to the left side of the bag, and he's safe. Nieman moves that over 2 feet. They would have gunned him down.
Well, they wanted to take a chance again. Nieman's only thrown out runners on this year. That was a little bit off to the third base side, and he was unable, Gazzo, to sweep that tag around. 16th stolen base of the year for Ray Alejo.
Stolen base. Let's go down to Haley Outen.
Yeah, it's moments like these for Tulane, and head coach of Tulane said last night that his team needs to seize the opportunity. He understands that there's opportunities out there to be had, and they don't actually just vanish in the air. So either we get them or we don't. Last night was a prime example. 5 of the first 6 runs were with 2 outs. So kind of like right now, this is a time where he's looking for his team to get out of this situation.
McCabe sends one through the side into right field. It's misplayed by Glancy. The run will come around to score. It's 2-0 on the RBI single by Ben McCabe.
Well, as Haley just talked about, Travis Jewett talking about seizing these opportunities, but it's Greg Lovelady's nights that do it. 2 out, single out to the right side, and then Glancy just had trouble with the pickup, and no trouble for Alejo. The big opportunity, they made their own opportunity on that stolen base, got himself in a scoring position.
Junior right fielder for Tulane was not able to pick that ball up cleanly and get the throw in, so the run came around and scored easy from third. Now Anthony George will come to the plate, his team up by a 2 spot. 2 runs on 3 hits now. 1 run's come and plated in the bottom of the 4th inning. Zaleski's breaking ball is called strike 1 at 79 miles an hour. George flew out to left field back in the 2nd. Went 1 for 4 in the previous game against Tulane and had 3 strikeouts. That was a great performance by Caleb Roper, the senior, who went 9 full, scattered 8 hits, only 2 runs, and struck out 9. This one's popped up. Foul territory, first base side. Jensen's got a beat on it right in front of his own dugout and makes the snag. That's the 3rd out of the inning, but 1 run comes across on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on. It's 2-0 UCF in this elimination game at the American Baseball Championships, presented by the Air Force Reserve.
This is St. Pete Clearwater, home to 35 miles of white sand bliss. But it's more than emerald surf and Gulf breezes. The beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of life, nature, art, music, or whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast in St. Pete Clearwater. Love the beach.
More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power Six conference known as the American, powered by determination.
The American Baseball Championships, and the youngsters having a fine night out here at Spectrum Field in Clearwater. Top of the 5th inning, and Tulane will come back to the plate. Got moms and dads playing out on the berms with the kiddos. I think the crowds are only going to grow as we head into the weekend, and everyone has a little more free time.
I got the long weekend ahead for most people. Probably started after last night, took the Friday off, you get the Monday off, get a big 4-day weekend, and great place to spend it, especially since we have such great weather this year. Sunny skies, warm temperatures, a nice breeze all week here in Clearwater.
Our first game tomorrow starts at 10 a.m. Eastern. UConn will take on Wichita State. And then the second matchup will be Cincinnati versus the winner of this game. Wichita State, as well as the winner of this game, will have to win twice to force their way into the championship game on Sunday. Frankie Nieman will lead things off as we go past 9 o'clock here. Ball one comes in from Spicer. Nieman struck out back in the second. This is his second at-bat of the game. Takes the fastball inside at 91 miles an hour.
Well, as you mentioned, Scott Guggens, the Bearcat head coach, is out here watching this game, probably still hanging around to get a good scout out of it. And sure, Jim Penders was here earlier today, and he had to get 2 runs at the top of the ninth to dispose of Wichita State yesterday, and saw Wichita State flex their muscle offensively earlier this afternoon.
2-0 taking all the way, and there's strike one. Tulane won just 3 games down the stretch out of their final 6. They beat Houston in the middle game of that 3-game series, beat South Alabama out of Mobile out of their final regular season non-conference game. That was 11-1. And then they won their final one against UConn to close out J.O. Christian Field. 2-1, a little bit early on it, and he pops it up a mile high over the infield. Micah settles under it at second.
Going to be the 8th pop-up of the game for the Green Wave. He's keeping them with soft contact up in the air, and it's not like these flyouts are being driven into the alleys back toward the warning track. If you look at infield pop-ups, that's going to be the 4th infield pop-up out of the first 8.
Now Luke Glancy will come to the plate. The only extra base hit so far for Tulane was a double by Bedgood back in the second. Spicer facing Glancy for the second time today. Luke got out into the inning in the second. Now comes up to the plate here, looking for a different outcome. He's hitting .259 in his junior season. Does have some power numbers, 8 doubles, 8 home runs, 30 runs driven in. Glancy was not able to cleanly field that ball in right field in the back of this inning. Pops this one up. Wasn't able to have a play at the plate, and the run came around to score for UCF. Wow. Hernandez living a little dangerously there, but makes the catch basket style.
Raced over and nearly overran it. Nice job to come back to his left. Got a little curve on it. That wind was blowing, but it actually blew it back to his left. I just think he anticipated the ball getting pushed over a little bit more.
Great work by our replay crew. Good camera angles there to see it cleanly. Now Sal Gazzo, the bottom of the order, will come to the plate. 2 hits coming into today's ball game. He's 0 for 1 this evening. Gazzo smashes one up the middle. That'll get into right center field. Gazzo's got a single. He's thinking extra bases, and he's thinking right. Gazzo will slide in with 2 outs. The second extra base hit of the ball game, and Gazzo is aboard.
Just the 5th of the week, and I, credit Sal Gazzo. He knows things are getting pressure filled here. They've got 5 innings to try to make up 2 runs. He's got to make something happen. As Haley talked about last inning, Travis Jewin said, you got to make the most of these opportunities. The moments are there. You've got to take them. So he'll take it himself, never stopped around first, gets himself in the scoring position for the top of the order and a chance to get a 2-out run and cut this lead in half.
9th double of the year. Gazzo standing off second base now for the leadoff man, Trevor Jensen. Jensen's popped up twice on the infield, once to short, once to third, and he looks at called strike one, 84 miles an hour by Spicer. That was his 60th pitch of the ball game. And he's kind of cruising along here before that extra base hit by Sal Gazzo at the bottom of the order.
Big out here. You got Hosie and Haskin due up.
If you can't put the bat on the ball, at least be a base runner here for the big boppers who are due up right behind you. This could be the inning where Tulane finally breaks through, puts some pressure on UCF and their starter Jordan Spicer. Wind continues to blow in. It seems like every Tulane game, the flags are coming towards home plate, unfortunately. McCabe does a nice job to smother that ball. Otherwise, the runner's 90 feet away on third.
Well, they're going to lobby to move their games next year over to the auxiliary fields for spring training, one where the wind's blowing out to left.
Please. Jensen hitting over 320 in his senior season. Final campaign in New Orleans with the Green Wave. He's also got some extra base hits on his ledger. 16 doubles, 7 home runs. He would love to cut the lead in half with a shot into the gap right now.
Gets him to 3-1, and you made a good point, Garrett. He doesn't need the 2-out hit to drive in a run. He just needs to get on base and let Hosie take a crack at it. And if Hosie can reach base, you have Haskin behind him.
Worked yourself ahead in the count here. Make him throw you a strike. Jensen stares in. And the Florida native draws a walk with 2 outs.
It's going to be Spicer's first walk of the ball game, so the first freebie. And now is the spot that Cody Hosie can be dangerous. We've seen Hosie bat a lot this week.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see the pitching coach come out here.
Well, we've seen a lot of Hosie up there of nobody on. Chance for just singles here, there. Not a lot of RBI opportunities. His best RBI opportunity that I can remember offhand right now, coming in at 4 for 8, but he has a chance to drive in the tying run. If he gets a hold of one, he can put the Tulane Green Wave on top.
Hosie, he's got 60 RBIs on the year. Like Hunter Goodman, who came into this tournament, got another one. I believe he finished his year with 67.
Second all-time at Memphis.
Some big-time run producers in this conference.
Hosie's job right now, not so much to drive the runs in either. If he can reach base, then you have Haskin, who, had it not been for Goodman, is likely your rookie of the year in the American as far as position players. So this is the good 1-2 punch, and we always kind of forget about Grant Matthews being down there with 13 doubles and 10 home runs as well. But they've got a chance here with 2 outs. They got to find a way. Extend the inning. Treat this like a late inning situation. You don't have to be the guy to get the big hit. You're capable of it, but get the next guy up.
Couple of pop-ups on the infield by Nieman and Glancy started our inning, but then the double by Gazzo, the walk to Jensen. The go-ahead run stands at the plate now against Spicer and UCF. Hosie will not swing at the first pitch. It's low, just inside the bottom of the zone at 91 miles an hour.
Well, going to do what Wichita State did today in their 5-run inning to open that game up. A couple of quick outs. And I believe they sent 6 or 7 straight to the plate and blitzed ECU with a 5-run inning early in that ball game.
Hosie doesn't want to call time. He wants that pitcher to stay up there on the rubber and sweat a little bit. Oh, he's gotten ahead of him in the count. Spicer knows he's got the advantage now, and Hosie's going to have to protect. Might have to shorten that swing a little bit.
Went in and went out. If I'm Spicer, I'm not going to give him anything but sliders down and away. He may get a single and tie it up, but I'm not going to groove one.
Gazzo standing off second. Jensen, who runs well, off first. This one is hit into right center field. Gazzo being waved around second. They'll pick the ball up. Finally comes in. They'll hold the runner. It's 2-1. Now they've got a little pickle here. The throwdown will be in time to get Jensen to end the inning, but not before Cody Hosie cuts into the lead. Jensen made too big of a turn coming around third and missed a signal, but the RBI single for Hosie makes it 2-1. UCF still on top. They'll look for a little insurance when we return, bottom of the fifth after this.
We all dream about our next vacation, but some of us turn those dreams into action. The bookers, the doers, they hit that confirmation button and let's goers. Because bookers know that the perfect place to stay is right there for the booking. Be a booker at Booking.com, the world's #1 choice for booking accommodations.
Scores! 3 strikeouts in a row. Dominance for a 4th straight year. Cueto from 30. Unbelievable.
And be able to celebrate this type of championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
Great night at the ballpark for families. Lots of kiddos out here at Spectrum Field in Clearwater. Tulane has scratched 1 run across in the top of the 5th. UCF will come to the plate. Maybe a chance for more for Tulane is thwarted when they make a base running error. Instead of Hudson Haskin coming to the plate with 2 in scoring position and 1 run already across. Hey, our band director is back tonight. She's a big Tulane fan. She's got her colors on.
Look, man, I need you to score some runs. I got to shake these feathers up here.
But instead, Jensen is thrown out at home after kind of being caught in between the bag and home plate.
And that's the frustrating thing when you're trying to generate runs, when you're used to scoring and it's just not coming in bunches like it has at times this year. Things like that happen. You get a double into the right center field gap. It's great you tie the ball game, but all of a sudden you overrun third a little bit. And as you mentioned, with Haskins coming up, you got another golden opportunity to tie it up, maybe get the lead.
Here's Selesky working to Hernandez. He won't offer at that one. The count goes to 1-2. Brandon in today's ball game just 1 at bat, flew out to right field to start the 3rd. Selesky's got to feel a little bit better up there. The offense finally produced. Took them 5 innings, but they bring a run across. And he just burns him on the inside corner there. 90 miles an hour. And Hernandez, the bottom of the order, swings through it. 3rd strikeout of the ball game. Now the top of the order coming to the plate in Matthew Micah.
Up and in, couldn't lay off of it. Probably going to be a ball there. Let her high, a little on the inside of the plate, but just jammed him.
Matthew Micah takes this one inside. Micah batted in the 2-hole in the previous game against Tulane, went 1 for 5. Gets into one, long way into left field. If it's fair, it's gone. It's out of here. Home run, Matthew Micah with 1 out in the 5th inning. And UCF's lead grows to 3-1.
2-time all-conference second baseman turned on that one, no doubt about it. And they had the big answer back run to go back up by 2. As Micah sitting inside, belt high.
Those feel real good. This one goes all the way into the bar stools in Frenchie's for his 7th home run of the year. Little souvenir out there at Frenchie's. And now Dallas Beaver will come to the plate. Our first home run of the ball game belongs to the Knights. Now Beaver comes back in with nobody on, 1 out. Won't offer at that one.
Beaver again already drew a walk in the third, hit of that double play in the first. Came in leading this team in free passes, added that in the third inning, trying to set the table here.
Man, how good has Selesky been this year about limiting the long ball? 70 innings pitched. He'd only given up 2.
Ooh.
Until Matthew Micah turned one around. He's quickly ahead in the count to Beaver. The junior looks on, swings at this one, and lines it down into left field. Beaver's going to make the big turn and stumbles coming around the bag. Might have missed out on extra bases. Can only have a smile on your face when that happens. The sniper got him.
I think he was a little indecisive when he was going to go around first, thinking, am I going to go for 2 or am I going to pull up? Just got his steps in between and don't trip over the chalk. Nice job to get it down to left field. Yeah, pounded that bag a little too much.
Well, he's going to look cool at the end of the game. He got his jersey dirty.
Did you get that diving into third, Pete Rose style?
A little bit more on Dallas Beaver.
Yeah, guys, Dallas Beaver is a player that has just breathed positivity this season. He had an okay sophomore year, but this year he's been one of Greg Lovelady's most consistent players. And as we talked about last night, him and Coach Lovelady just have an excellent relationship. And he happens to just be one of the brightest kids on this team while he's out here committing and putting in the work with baseball. He finished his bachelor's degree in just 2 years, and he's going to leave UCF with a master's diploma in criminal justice and public administration. So Dallas has a little bit of everything.
Definition of a student athlete over there in Orlando. Osick lines into one. Fair ball. This one's going all the way into the corner. Dallas Beaver coming in towards third. The throw from Matthews will hold him. 2 runners in scoring position on the double by Tyler Osick, his second extra base hit of the ball game.
Well, here come the Knights. They are starting to see Selesky really good. First the homer, then the Beaver single to left field. Now Osick just turns on this one and drives it. They've got a chance to play 2 more. You're getting into the 4-5 hitters here. Wingo's already driven a run into the first inning.
Micah, the right-hander, turned on one and drove it into the left field stands. Dallas Beaver, the left-handed hitter, also went left, went opposite field, and slapped a single long way down the line. Now Osick with the double. That'll bring up Dalton Wingo, who's 1 for 2 tonight with an RBI single.
So you got Beaver sitting over there at third after his single. Well, I didn't know it was possible, as Haley mentioned, to finish in 2 years. That's amazing.
He must have tested out of a lot of stuff coming into UCF. First pitch to Wingo backs him off the plate at 89 miles an hour. Dalton had the RBI single back in the first, struck out in the fourth. Stares in at Chase Selesky, who's given up 3 hard hits in a row after striking out Hernandez to start the inning. Still just 1 out.
Dalton Wingo's had a good week. He's 6 for 10 on the 1 for 2 night tonight with the RBI. One of their hotter hitters. As they've hit 274 coming into tonight's game.
Wingo's a Tampa native out of Plant City on the east side of Tampa proper. 6'1", 190 standing up there. He'll let that one cruise across at 77 miles an hour.
Well, the bullpen now for Tulane has started to move, and we have one arm going out in left field. So they are concerned here about Selesky, who's starting to get teed up just a little bit after the first out, 3 straight hits.
That's Justin Campbell, number 30. Wingo, the 2-1, swings at an elevated fastball. That'll even the count. Big pitch coming up for Selesky. You see Wingo kind of raise the ladder there, trying to get up and elevate that one into left field. Wingo already with 1 hit in the ball game. And Has a good eye at the plate. That one a little close to lay off, but there is just one out in the inning, so now you'll extend Selesky to the full count.
A 280 hitter on deck in Robertson if Wingo's able to reach base. Good at bat, was down 1-2. He's worked it back full.
Wingo standing in the back of the box. 2 in scoring position, only 1 out. And the cleanup man cannot connect. Struck him out on the outside part of the plate. Fantastic pitching there on the breaking ball by Selesky.
Nice job, really pulled the string. Thought he's going to get something out over. Dips down and away, had pulled the hips out already.
You saw the reaction there from Selesky. He is pumped up to get that out. Now Chandler Robertson will come to the plate. He walked and scored a run back in the 4th. Today he is 0 for 1.
Well, despite the home run, the single, and the double, if he gets out of this, he's done a nice job of damage control if you limit him to 1 run, because this could have been a pretty big inning, and still could be.
Dallas Beaver standing on third. Tyler Osick, who just had his 2nd double of the game, on second. Beaver did a nice job of going with the pitch. The left-hander shot it into left field. Maybe Robertson would do the same thing here. First pitch to him is low, and Nieman can't bring it back up. Robertson in his senior season came in hitting .280. Struck out looking to end the 1st. Another extended inning in the field for Tulane. They gave up 1 run in the 1st. Now they've given up runs in the 4th and 5th to the Knights.
Well, he's up into the mid-80s now. Still has another inning or so. But again, remember, both Selesky and Spicer just 6 inning starts in that prior matchup early May.
Robertson won't offer it that. Selesky goes 86 miles an hour to even the count at 1. Latest projection I saw this afternoon in between games from D1 baseball about the NCAA regionals had ECU hosting a regional over in Greenville. They had the UConn Huskies as a 2 seed. One moment, this one's on the outside part of the plate, making the regionals. And they had the Houston Cougars as a 3 seed in the Lubbock regional.
Well, I'm glad to see that. I know it was disappointing for Todd Whitting's team to go 0-2 this tournament. I'm happy to see that at least the projections will reward them. You're coming out of the number 5 RPI conference in the country, so conference has made a name for itself in a very short time, being a very good baseball league.
Now, they didn't do UConn any favors. They sent them to the Nashville regional in that projection where Vanderbilt is projected to be the number 2 overall seed. But that's 3 teams in right now. You have these 2 teams fighting for a spot in the semifinals. Cannot wait to get started tomorrow. Going to wake up 10 a.m. will be our first pitch.
Well, some things have to happen for UCF, and they're making them happen right now, but if they could find their way to Sunday.
This one's put into the air. Robertson hits it a long way. Going over is Haskin. He'll make the catch right in front of the track for the 3rd out of the inning. 1 run comes across on a trio of hits. The home run by Matthew Micah sneaks inside the fair pole down the left field line. And UCF leads it 3-1. We're 5 complete. Headed for the top of the 6th here in Clearwater.
On your mark, get set, let's go. It goes.
Tired, huh?
NBA superstar.
Gatorade Zero. All the electrolytes, zero sugar. Get more out of zero.
More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power Six conference known as the American, powered by determination.
The heart of the lineup coming up for the Tulane Green Wave. Haskin, Matthews, and Artigues. They trail by 2 to UCF here in the top of the 6th, getting a little late in our ball game. It's been a nice performance so far by Jordan Spicer, who has limited Tulane to just 1 run on 5 hits.
Spicer, 5 solid innings. As you mentioned, 5 hits, a walk, and 3 strikeouts, 68 pitches. He's still in good shape. Going back to the point I was making before that final out, you look at UCF's resume. UCF comes in 35 wins, which that's usually kind of a benchmark. You're floating on the bubble. They've got a number 50 strength of schedule. Their non-conference RPI sitting around 33. They're in the low 40s on the RPI. Thing is, will the selection committee say, hey, we're going to take, if the projections stand up, UConn and Houston, who were 4th and 5th, and go down to the 6th place team when your number 2 and number 3 are skipped over. Obviously, they don't have the resumes. You need some things to happen in the other conferences. Not a lot of upsets. If you get to Sunday, maybe you bump yourself into the 30s, and maybe they'll reward you for playing in the top 5 conference and give an American maybe that 4th bid.
I think there's a very good shot for that. UCF back out in the field, and Hudson Haskin, who was standing on deck when Trevor Jensen was thrown out at the plate, must have been thinking, I'm about to come up with 2 on in scoring position. And instead, he comes up here to start a new frame with nobody on and nobody out. First pitch to him was called strike 1 from Spicer. This is his 70th pitch of the ball game. Lifted into the air, and Robertson will clean it up in left field.
Well, that's unfortunate for Hudson. He really did hit that ball hard, but it elevated down to the outfield. Just couldn't get it down for the base hit. Line drive right to Robertson, who got a little handcuffed out there. That's a little closer than it looked from up here.
Now Grant Matthews will come to the plate, the cleanup hitter. Singled in his first at bat. Today he's 1 for 2. You can see the grip there of Spicer, the right-hander, at 6'3". Matthews takes a look at the breaking ball for called strike 1. Grant's listed at 6'1", 198.
Started 57 games this year in the outfield and as a DH. 13 games as the designated hitter of the season.
$13 doubles on the year for Grant. 10 home runs, 55 runs driven in. And normally a number like that might lead your squad. Cody Hosie has 60 RBIs on the year to pace the Green Wave. Left-hander gets under this one. I think Wingo's going to have the best shot at this, though. Micah's going back. He'll make the catch a long way from his position for the first out of the inning. That second out. Coming to the plate now will be Jonathan Artigues with nobody on and 2 outs. And Spicer's already back up on the hill, ready to work.
Well, his offense gets that run back. Quickly 2 outs here. He wants to get back in the dugout. They've got a lot of momentum right now. I know it's just a 2-run game. The lead seems a little bit bigger than that.
Good job there by McCabe to bring that back over in front of his chest protector. It's called strike 1. Artigues, an academic All-American, swings through this one. I think he was thinking fastball. He got one at 84 miles an hour instead. He's behind in the count 0-2.
Handcuffed him, got the old half swing, never got the arms extended.
The UCF fans that have made the trip over here to Spectrum Field, calling for Spicer to get out of the inning. Struck him out, and Spicer is pumped. Tulane goes quietly here after scoring 1 run in the 5th. They can't tack on another in the 6th. Strikeout number 4 in the ball game for Spicer. And the Knights coming to the plate after this on the American Digital Network.
This is St. Pete Clearwater, home to Clearwater Beach, the #1 beach in the U.S. as chosen by travelers on TripAdvisor. It's not just white sand and Gulf breezes. Beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast. Visit stpclearwater.com. Love the beach.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle, a big save, a clutch hit,
or a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
There is power in the sportsmanship that is displayed across the American.
Power is respecting opponents,
Officials,
Student athletes,
Coaches and team representatives.
power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
Profanities or other improper actions while at the game.
the American.
Power for life.
The American, power for life.
The American, power for life.
That left field lounge over there, some UCF fans with their team coming to the plate looking for a souvenir. They've got a lot to cheer about so far. It's 3-1 in tonight's elimination game, day 4 here. Our 10th game of the 2019 Conference Championships. And the Knights coming back to the plate in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Well, 3 of the 4 already set up. Wichita State and UConn in the first game. Following that, Cincinnati Bearcats hanging out. They're waiting for game number 2. Again, as we talked about, Garrett, it'll be kind of neat tomorrow. We'll have a couple new teams, a couple new uniforms to see in the semifinals.
And of course, there'll be Connecticut UConn Huskies, who played for last year's tournament title and have gotten off to a 2-0 start, undefeated going into semifinal Saturday. The 90th pitch of the ball game for Chase Selesky misses. He's now 2-0 in the count.
I believe my numbers were correct, if I can remember them off the top of my head now. Jim Pender's club is going to be the only team now to have appeared in every American semifinal.
2-0 is inside. He's fallen behind to Alejo. Ray in today's ball game, 0 for 2. He's reached on a fielder's choice. 2014, it was pool play. The teams with the best records that went 2-1 advanced to the championship game, and that year it was Houston that made the trip. Alejo draws a 4-pitch leadoff walk. That's just the 3rd free pass of the game given up by Selesky.
You know, and for a second time tonight, reached on that fielder's choice in the 4th. He was scored by McCabe. Fielder's choice, he stole second. McCabe drove him in. It made it 2-0 at that point. Before Tulane finally responded, got their first run on the board.
McCabe hit one hard into right field. Back up here, 1 for 2 today. They'll try and sack the runner over. Off the barrel, right side. Jensen throws over to the covering Artigues, and the sack bunt is successful.
This is some smart baseball now by Greg Lovelady. He gets the freebie to lead things off. Alejo, you're going to push him up to second base in the sacrifice. Want to just expand the lead, and a really pretty bunt over to first base as Jensen cut off Selesky to make the play to Artigues.
Now, if you're Coach Lovelady, you're looking for some production out of your third baseman, Anthony George, who's 0 for 2 tonight. That'll have to wait as the catcher, Nieman, goes out to talk with Selesky, who's now over 90 pitches in this start.
3rd sacrifice for McCabe on the year, a team that doesn't do a ton of sacrificing. They're 36th on the season.
In the prior game against Tulane, Anthony George went 1 for 4. They could use some production from him here. The redshirt junior out of Oviedo, Florida. has a runner in scoring position. Good zip there. High 80s on the fastball. And George falls behind 0-1. There's Alejo standing off second. Curveball not quite as sharp here after 95 pitches, and George works himself even in the count 1-1 with the eye.
Wouldn't put it out of the question if they can work a 2-1 count. Alejo, who stole a 16th base of the year in the fourth, tries to go to third again. Nieman now has only thrown out 8 of 49 on the year. You've got a right-handed batter. That provides you just a little bit of production on that throw.
Jeff, you're buying lottery tickets at the end of the ball game, buddy. Stolen base. Ben McCabe, make it Alejo, rolls down. And the throw not quite in time from Nieman.
Really takes the pressure off Anthony George, too. Doesn't have to get the base hit to get him. You just need to push it up the middle. A little bit of a high throw, but Alejo got way too good of a jump at that point. So you take a look now at Anthony George at the plate this season. Has a couple of sack bunts. You're ahead 2-1. Good throw and a safety squeeze here. They've drawn the infield in, but neither the corner infielders weigh in on the grass.
Fastball comes in. It's called strike 2. Tulane has the reliever, Justin Campbell, number 30, a sophomore left-hander, warming. And now the assistant coach for UCF. We'll have a little talk with Anthony George, the third baseman, in a crucial situation here where 4-1 would give them a little breathing room in the bottom of the 6th.
Could be telling him to choke up on the bat, shorten the swing. Could tell him to stay long, try to elevate the pitch, get it out of the infield. That was Ryan Klosterman. Came over from Vanderbilt alum back in 2004, the third base coach.
Infield comes in, drawn onto the grass. Selesky has the pitch and deals a 2-2. This one's popped up. Haskin will get the momentum. Alejo takes off and he commits. Here comes the throw. Was the tag applied? No! Alejo slides in. An RBI sac fly for Anthony George. It's 4-1 UCF.
Stolen base pays off big. Got himself on the third base. They took a chance on a shallow fly ball, and Haskin, a really nice arm. Maybe a little bit too much elevation on it. Sailed it to Nieman. He tried to get the swipe tag, but he gets just out of the way. No argument from the dugout.
We haven't seen a replay initiated there. That looked about as close as it could be. Thought he might have gotten a back of his jersey with that tag. But now a 3-run lead. They will appeal, throw over to third base. Hosie tags the bag, but the run is safe. This could be a little more telling. Oh, the whiff. Different angle in the home plate umpire. Shane Matheny had a much better view than we did up here. This one's popped up into the air. Matthews should have it. And the inning is over. 1 run comes across on no hits. 1 left on. We're 6 complete with UCF on top by 3. 4-1, top of the 7th when we return. It's almost stretch time here at Spectrum Field in Clearwater.
When everything's a little different, one thing remains the same. The chance to make a real difference. Because the norm here is anything but. Every day our volume grows. Every moment a bit more colorful than the last. From a city that's 300 years old, we inspire things that are entirely new. Because that's what creates the change the world desperately needs.
People say we're big.
Wow.
Well, what is big?
This is big.
It's an energy. An opportunity.
This is big, baby!
So go on. Dream big. Because big is just the beginning.
I got it. This is big.
Flags have kind of changed positions, blowing out now towards center field. 4-1 our ball game as UCF has the lead over Tulane here in Clearwater at the Phillies spring trading headquarters, Spectrum Field. Everybody knows they're right down the road from Lenny's. That's the best breakfast in Clearwater. You come out to the ball game, look up Lenny's on your phone, and just go straight there any time of day.
You know, for 5 years I've seen that place, as you and I usually stay.
Let's go tomorrow.
Down the street. I'm not going that early. Maybe Sunday.
They'll load you down, man. Pancakes, bacon, eggs, fresh fruit, all kinds of good stuff from the Northeast. David Bedgood will get us underway for Tulane coming to the plate down to their final 9 outs. They trail by 3. Bedgood 1 for 2 today. Extra base hit in the second when he hit a double. Jordan Spicer still looking strong up on the hill. Strike 1 called. Approaching 80 pitches in the game. He got the last inning 1-2-3 after giving up that RBI double to Hosie in the 5th inning, but the inning ended when Trevor Jensen was caught in between third and home and tagged out.
He's just created so much soft contact tonight. 11 flyouts, 2 groundouts. So the 11 flyouts, 5 have been on the infield. Well, that tells me only 2 groundouts. They've just not been able to barrel up a lot of balls.
Bedgood won't offer at that one. 81 miles an hour.
And he's also not allowed them to put pressure on his defense. Pop up so much easier to play, obviously, than a ground ball.
Spicer, the senior. 2-0 on the year with a 3.3 ERA. Two-1 misses in the zone now, and the hitters count coming.
I mean, if you would believe this, Salgazzo grounded to Micah in the 3rd, Artigues to Hernandez in the 4th. That's the only 2 plays their infielders have had to make tonight on the ground.
This one's pulled. Whoa, look what I found. Osick with the clean stab over at first. Tags the bag, 3 unassisted.
4 straight, and that was a nifty little play. Just the 3rd play an infielders had to make. That was pretty difficult. Made it look easy, little olay and run over the bag.
You don't knock that down, that could be extra bases. Instead, it's an out here to start the top of the 7th inning. Now, A.C. Owen will pinch hit in the spot of Frankie Nieman, the catcher. And I believe this is the first at-bat we'll see for A.C. Owen, an upperclassman for the Wave. Owen, the senior out of Brandon, Mississippi. He should be inserted at catcher. 6'2", 195 pounds. And the first pitch to him is called, strike 1.
I believe it will be the first plate appearance. We did see him come in defensively, I believe, last night. But it looks like his first plate appearance of the week.
AC's hitting .271 on the year. He's appeared in 25 games with 18 starts. Won't offer there. Was looking up the last couple of years of action in the tournament for Tulane. A.C. Owen came into this game 3 for 10 with a pair of RBIs and 2 runs scored. The senior staring in at Jordan Spicer. So Nieman's day will end up 0-2. He struck out in the 2nd, popped out in the 5th. And if anything, you've got a left-handed bat, another one in the lineup now with A.C. Owen. We saw the other Owen, Kobe Owen, get into the game as a defensive change yesterday.
AC's been in 25 games, 18 starts, 3 multi-hit games this year. Was 3 for 4 with a pair of doubles and a win over ECU.
Ball and 2 strikes now to Owen. A little late on that one. And wow, 94 miles an hour there by Jordan Spicer. Really pumped it up on the fastball.
Best non-conference game, a 2 for 4 outing this year. Against Lamar, drove in 3, scored twice.
Owen just trying to be a base runner with his team trailing by 3. Opposite field. Robertson didn't even have to move to make the catch. That'll be the second out of the inning.
th fly ball of the ball game. And again, he keeps him in the air, lets his defense make the routine plays.
Right fielder Luke Lancey.
Luke Lancey will come back to the plate. Another left-handed bat. 0 for 2 today. Standing in against Jordan Spicer, who's now up over 85 pitches.
Shift on to the right side. They'll move George over way to his left, just off the lip of the infield.
Lancey goes with this one. Lifted out into left. All the way back to the track, but it's the third out of the inning. 6 up, 6 down in a row for Jordan Spicer against Tulane. UCF will come to the plate up by 3 when we return. It's stretch time here at Spectrum Field. Stay with us, folks. You're watching the American Digital Network.
Opportunities present themselves every day. Opportunities that move us forward. Opportunities to serve our time in your community. Explore your opportunities in the Air Force Reserve.
Strong in mind, strong in body, strong in school, sport, life.
The grind is 10% physical and 90% mental.
The mind is the power.
The body is a means to jump higher, run faster,
be smarter, and live longer.
There is no weakness when it comes to seeking help.
We are stronger together.
So let's talk about it.
A waterfall starts with one drop.
Change starts with one person.
The American is dedicated to ending the stigma related to mental health.
And promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Spectrum Field, 84 degrees on a clear night here in Clearwater, Florida. 4-1, UCF with the lead. We're done stretching, headed for the bottom of the 7th inning. And a new pitcher has come into the ballgame, so the evening over for Chase Selesky, the starter for Tulane. The sophomore allowed 1 run, make it 4 runs on 6 hits, and will exit after 6 innings. Justin Campbell, your new pitcher.
1-3 in 31 outings, does have 1 start, 4.60 ERA and 2 saves. 47 innings, 39 hits, 26 runs, 24 earned, 17 walks to 47 strikeouts, a .231 average against pair of wild pitches. He's hit 8 batters out of Bishop Foley Catholic High School in Troy, Michigan. So came down south to play his ball a year ago. 2 games in relief, retired the only batter he faced in his collegiate debut versus Cal State Fullerton. Again, that 4-year letter winner out of Bishop Foley High in Madison Heights, Michigan. Pitch, played outfield first base for the Ventures. His team captain was all league as a sophomore, junior, and senior.
6'5", 210 pounds in his sophomore season for the Wave. He'll start off against Matthew Micah in the top of the order. Micah logged on and got gone in the 5th inning, a home run over the left field wall. New catcher behind the plate in relief of Nieman is A.C. Owen. Didn't see any other defensive changes for the Green Wave. Micah takes a look at the 81-mile-an-hour offering. Ball one. And another pitch from the left-hander that misses the zone. Micah was hit by a pitch in the first. He's been on base twice today. 1 for 2 with that home run.
Selesky ends his night at 100 pitches, 64 strikes, 4 earned runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, 4 Ks.
Looks like a pair of arms warming up now for Tulane. This game certainly still within reach for the Green Wave, trailing just by 3. Every at-bat here, you've got to limit UCF's chances. Micah's worked himself ahead in the count, though, 3-1. All-conference selection, Matthew Micah, second base. And that one gets away through the glove. Micah will walk down to first base with a free pass. Third time tonight that he's been on base. That's the 4th walk issued to the UCF offense tonight.
Designated hitter Dallas Beaver.
They've just not been able to get a big inning off in their first 2.5 games. Their biggest innings were a couple of 3-run innings. They had a 3-run inning Tuesday in the second in the 5-2 loss to UCF, a 3-run inning last night in the 5th, and that 8-4 loss to Cincinnati.
Micah's going to be caught in a rundown, takes off for second. Now Gazzo has it, flips it over. Good speed by Jensen. This is textbook by Micah. He's got that low center of gravity, but they finally tag him out, and he will head back. The pickoff started by Justin Campbell, the left-hander. He's caught down for the first out of the inning.
One of the more entertaining rundowns we've seen. Of course, we did have the double play rundown in the game earlier this week.
Well, he's playing in his 3rd game in 4 days and knows he has at least another 1 tomorrow. Max effort, though. Waiting for the guys to make a mistake, maybe overthrow and let him get back to a bag safely. Instead, he'll be back in the bench. Dallas Beaver now with 1 out and nobody on. Beaver won't offer there. Dallas, a .315 hitter coming in. 12 home runs on the year. He hit into a double play into the first, singled back in the 5th, and drew a walk in the 3rd. Breaking ball. Might have been a pitch to hit. Instead, it finishes a little bit low. And the count evens up 1-1.
Goes down as a 1-3-5, 1-4-6. Caught stealing. Don't have the Powerball number.
Use it. Looks like Scott Guggens, J.D. Heilman, and the rest of the staff have gone back to the hotel, no longer out on the first base suite sides up here on the press deck level. I wouldn't say they have an early start tomorrow. They will probably be taking a look at the UConn-Wichita State game, which will lead off our 5th day of coverage at the American Baseball Championships, presented by the Air Force Reserve. Huskies and Shockers at 10 a.m. Eastern. You can catch it on our airwaves.
My guess would be game 2 in that 1:30 to 2:30 window tomorrow afternoon.
Cincinnati finally finds themselves undefeated in conference tournament play, 2-0 and in the semifinals. The 3-2. Beaver draws a 1-out walk. 2 free passes in a row to start the ball game for the reliever Justin Campbell. He had only given up 17 walks in 45 innings pitched. Now a base runner on for Tyler Osick. Dangerous bat coming to the plate. He already has 2 doubles.
Not the way you want to start back-to-back walks. He caught a break when he caught Micah stealing in that rundown.
Travis Jewett, head coach for Tulane, calls time. And I believe an arm will be coming in from the pen. We'll have a pitching change. More action in the bottom of the 7th with a runner on. And the senior first baseman, Osick, coming to the plate. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we return here on the American Digital Network.
This is St. Pete Clearwater. home to 35 miles of white sand bliss. But it's more than emerald surf and Gulf breezes. The beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of life, nature, art, music, or whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast in St. Pete, Clearwater. Love the beach.
More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power Six conference known as the American, powered by determination.
We all dream about our next vacation, but some of us turn those dreams into action. The bookers, the doers, they hit that confirmation button and let's goers. Because bookers know that the perfect place to stay is right there for the booking. Be a booker at Booking.com, the world's #1 choice for booking accommodations.
Scores! 3 strikeouts in a row. Dominance for a 4th straight year. Cueto from 30. Unbelievable.
And be able to celebrate this type of championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
Welcome back. We're in the 7th inning, 1 out. New pitcher for Tulane, but in the UCF dugout, they have an extra friend today. This web has been brewing over the last couple days here in Clearwater, and the players discovered an extra little friend in the dugout. They've been gathering around this web periodically throughout the game, but a pretty big web, and when they leave the dugout, they actually have to walk past this spider the whole game. So maybe like a little bit of like a rally web.
A little spooky, actually. You know, baseball players are super cool, right? Or they all like, dude, I'll touch it if you'll touch it.
That's exactly what I was going to say. They're real cool, but they're college guys. They're amazed by anything. So, but if any other teams playing tomorrow or watching, do not disturb. Don't mess with the web.
New pitcher in the ball game for the Green Wave, Ryan Green, the 6'5" senior out of Rochester, New York. He's got a runner on first and facing Tyler Osick, who's 2 for 3 with 2 extra base hits in today's game.
1-1, 15 outings of the bullpen, 8.66 ERA in 17 2/3 of an inning. He's walked 9. He has struck out 24. 6'5", 202-pounder from Rochester, New York.
We saw him last year in this tournament. He pitched a scoreless inning of relief against Houston. He was on the all-academic team for Tulane by the American Conference. He's fallen behind in the count, though, 2-0, and Travis Jewett just got rid of Justin Campbell after issuing back-to-back walks. Green needs to come hard with a strike right now. Green played 2 years at Niagara County Community College. This one's sent down the line, foul ball into left. Green again, a New York native, and growing up with that height listed at 6'5". Played 2 seasons in high school in volleyball as well. He was a right side hitter, which means he was coming correct with the kills. 2 balls and a strike to Tyler Osick. The senior first baseman now has 14 doubles on the year. Very short lead for Dallas Beaver over at first. Osick hacks at this one, but fouls it back.
Trying to navigate through the heart of the order with a runner at first, less than 1 out. Wingo on decks, 1 for 3, and Robertson back of the hole over 2 with a walk.
Osick, like the pitcher Ryan Green, played at a smaller school before finding a home at UCF. This one comes inside. Osick was drafted by the Pirates after 2 years. Decided that the opportunity to come to UCF, play for a big-time program, big facilities, big conference, too good to pass up. He spent the last 2 years chopping wood here at UCF. And he'll draw a walk here. For Tyler Osick, third time tonight that he's on base, and that's 3 walks in a row given up by the relievers for Tulane.
Third walk of the inning. Danger is brewing. Again, fortunate they got that caught stealing 2 batters ago. If they tack on another run, that just keeps putting you further and further away, and Tulane's only got 6 outs to use on offense.
Ryan Green in a bit of a jam. 2 on, only 1 out for Dalton Wingo. 94 miles an hour by Green, but he misses the zone 1-0.
You know, you mentioned a chance to play at UCF for Osick in a big ballpark. John Giuliano Park, we named in 2018. We did a series over there this year. What they did now, putting the upper deck with the suites, the new press box, the stadium club added to that deck along first base. They pulled that capacity up to a little over 3,800. Really nice ballpark.
Wingo holds up on this one. No, they're going to say he went around on that one. 93 miles an hour by Green, who's looking a little electric out there with that fastball. Count now 1-1.
What's impressive as we take a look here.
Yeah, he came all the way around.
If you've been over to that ballpark, they have so much more room if it continues to grow down the left field line, and then they could really develop the outfield seating.
Fastball again, fisted on the ground by Hosie. Could be 2, 5, 4, not in time to get out of the inning. So a runner on the corners for UCF. Wingo gets his way on with the fielder's choice. Chandler Robertson due to come to the plate, and he'll step up.
Well, it was a risk-reward type thing. He tried to go around 5-4-3 for the double play. It was going to be a tough one. He opted not to tag the lead runner in Dallas Beaver. He still got the 1 out. However, there's a runner 90 feet away instead of a runner at second base. So now a wild pitch, pass ball, something funny like that happens, they could get Beaver in from third base.
Tulane has Trent Johnson, the junior right-hander, warming up, and a pitching change is imminent. We'll have another pitcher coming into the ballgame. We'll tell you a little bit more when we return here. Still a jam for Tulane to try and get themselves out of, with UCF leading 4-1 on the American Digital Network.
On your mark, get set, let's go. It goes.
It's hard, huh?
NBA superstar.
Gatorade Zero. All the electrolytes, zero sugar. Get more out of zero.
More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American, powered by determination.
This is St. Pete Clearwater, home to Clearwater Beach, the #1 beach in the U.S. as chosen by travelers on TripAdvisor. It's not just white sand and Gulf breezes. Beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast. Visit stpclearwater.com. Love the beach.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle, a big save, a clutch hit,
or a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
There is power in the sportsmanship that is displayed across the American.
Power is respecting opponents,
Officials,
Student athletes,
Coaches and team representatives.
power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
Profanities or other improper actions while at the game.
the American.
Power for life.
The American, power for life.
The American, power for life.
A trio of walks have come onto the base paths against the Tulane Green Wave here. One has been gotten out, but now runners on the corners, 2 outs in the inning, and the third pitcher for Tulane is Brendan Salucci.
2-3, 26 outings, 1 out of the pen, 3 saves, 5.27 ERA in 41 innings. He's walked 20, struck out 45, a .263 average against the sophomore out of William Penn Charter School in Pennsylvania.
He'll have to take on the left fielder Chandler Robertson. First baseman squares to bunt. The first bat squares to bunt. He'll pull it back though. 96 miles an hour on the house gun by Salucci, who goes 6'4", 201 pounds, a Pennsylvania native. This one a little bit low to A.C. Owen, the new catcher in the ball game. Last year as a freshman, Salucci only appeared in 7 games, all in relief, and only pitched 2 2/3 innings. This year, he's pumped his numbers up. Jeff said 26 appearances. Hope they don't call that catcher's indifference, but they might. Tyler Osick now standing on second base, so 2 in scoring position for the Knights.
Robertson can break this game wide open. 5-run lead is going to be pretty big with 2 innings to go with the way Spicer's been dealing for the Knights.
Robertson, the senior, works himself even in the count, 2-2.
And Spicer has at least 1 more, potentially 2, sitting at 90 pitches, 57 for strikes for UCF.
A hit into the outfield here that drops could almost assure UCF of a chance to move on to the semifinals. Robertson trying to come through and swings through that one. Salucci comes in, gets the strikeout, and UCF strands 2. Now the Green Wave need to build on that momentum as we head to the top of the 8th. Green Wave trail 4-1. We'll be back after this.
When everything's a little different, one thing remains the same: the chance to make a real difference. Because the norm here is anything but. Every day our volume grows. Every moment a bit more colorful than the last. From a city that's 300 years old, we inspire things that are entirely new. Because that's what creates the change the world desperately needs.
People say we're big. Wow. Well, what is big?
This is big.
It's an energy. An opportunity.
This is big, baby!
So go on. Dream big. Because big is just the beginning.
I got it. This is big.
The senior Jordan Spicer back out for his 8th inning of work. Nice camera on your phone, bro. There's Spicer up on the hill. He will take on Tulane's 9-1-2 to get things going here. Sal Gazzo, Trevor Jensen, Cody Hosie do the plate.
It's been very good tonight. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run it's earned, a walk, 4 strikeouts. He's only faced 26 batters tonight. 90 pitches, 57 strikeouts. And again, he has created a lot of soft contact tonight. 13 pop-ups in this game. 5 have been on the infield. He's only forced the infield to make 3 plays this evening.
Outfielders have been busy, you say?
A lot of routine flyouts tonight.
Gazzo had a nice at-bat in the 5th, doubled. Came around to score the only run of the game for Tulane. Tonight he's 1 for 2. And Spicer starts him off with the swinging strike. 82 miles an hour there. The next pitch for Spicer will be number 90. George comes in on the grass at 3rd. Another breaking ball, and Gazzo's out in front of it. Sal, 207 batting on the year. Little more on Mr. Spicer and the effort that he's had tonight with Haley.
Yeah, UCF head coach Greg Lovelady said before this game that he knew that this Tulane offense was going to be a big challenge today for his pitching staff, but Jordan Spicer is a guy that he has a lot of faith in. In fact, Lovelady believes that Spicer has been the hottest guy on his pitching staff the last 4 weeks.
He certainly pitched a gem tonight against this offense that leads the conference in more than 10 categories. So UCF has pitched Grant Sherman, Chris Williams, and then tonight a great outing by Jordan Spicer. UCF fans wanted the ring up there and they will not get it. The count now 2-2. Other players for the Knights with multiple starts include Jalen Whitehead, who's got 9 starts on the year. He's 5-2. And Trevor Holloway, who only has 6 appearances on the year. All starts. He's 2-0 with a 2.03 ERA. This one's pulled into right field through the infield. Sal Gazzo's got his 2nd hit of the night. And now Tulane has a base runner on for the top of the order. That's exactly what Coach Jewett wants as we get deep into this ball game.
Tires a streak of 6 straight retired here. Now Gazzo gets it back at the top of the order. We told you Hosie and Haskin and Matthews would have to come through one more time. If Jensen can find a way to get on base, it's going to be maybe their last best opportunity to get this thing tied up and potentially grab the lead.
This one comes across to Trevor Jensen, and it is called strike 1. Well, to close out Memphis yesterday, we saw Kyle Kemp throw 2 1/3 innings pitched. He came away with the win, his first of the year. Might we see Jeffrey Hakinson with 6 saves on the year get warm in the pen as this one is shot through the side into left field? Trevor Jensen, back-to-back singles for Tulane now, and the tying run will come to the plate in the Player of the Year, Cody Hosie.
Takes one down low, drives it to the left side, scored it past Hernandez, and here we go. Okay, you've got 2 guys on. Hosie represents the tying run. You're going to have a chance here, Garrett, with the heart of the order, 2 men on and nobody out.
If I'm Spicer, I want to throw a strike here, but I'm not giving him a fastball. Will Hosie be patient and lay off the first issue? Takes this one down and low and won't go after it. Works himself ahead in the count. Hosie in today's ball game struck out in the first, singled sharply into left field in the third, and had an RBI double in his last at-bat.
Haley mentioned the hot streak that Spicer's been on in his last 5 starts going back to FAU. Only 5 earned runs in the last 5 games.
Hosie won't pull the trigger there. It's called strike 1. He produced their only run of the ball game back in the 5th inning. Sal Gazzo doubled, got on after 2 outs, and Hosie drove him around. Gazzo again standing on second. Jensen on first. Spicer really having to work here. Hosie with a powerful cut on a 91-mile-an-hour fastball as Spicer approaches 100 pitches.
3 doubles tonight for the Green Wave offense. That doubles the amount of extra base hits they had coming into tonight so far through the first 2 games of the tournament. Double here, get you 1, may get you 2 runs.
The Green Wave's top RBI producer in 2019 stands in the back of the box. And Spicer wants a new pitch. He'll get the ball from the home plate umpire, Shane Matheny. Second game in this tournament that Hosie has been 2 for 3. He's looking to extend those numbers. The 1-2. struck him out. Spicer, 85 miles on the outside corner. Second K tonight for the player of the year.
Fifth strikeout on the hill for Jordan Spicer now through 7 1/3. That was huge. Not only do you get the player of the year with Hudson Haskin now, you have an opportunity to get a double play and get out of the game. If he does, he sits right now right at 99 pitches, a chance for him to finish this game out in the ninth.
Haskin comes to the plate, batting in the 3-hole tonight. He's 0 for 3 and takes a look at called strike 1. Freshman takes a deep breath and stands back in. Hard how to, you can even see what's left. The batter's boxes have disappeared on both sides of the plate. But he's kind of in the middle of where it would be. Laces into one, and it'll drop in left field. They'll send the run around. Coming to score is Gazzo, and it's cut in half, 4-2. Tulane plates another run here in the 8th inning.
First hit of the night for Haskin, his 5th of the week. 52nd RBI of the year, and again, cuts it down to 2.
Maybe a sign of great things to come. Gazzo was making the hard turn at third and motors home without a throw.
We've talked about the great outing tonight that Spicer's had, but he is in uncharted territory. This is a new career high. His career high was 6 innings. He's done it 4 times, last against Houston on May 17th. The most pitches that he's thrown this season has been 84, a career high of 87. And right now, the first time he's been at 100 and more in his 2 years at UCF.
Looks like Westberg is warming, number 24. This could be 2, 4, 6, 3. A double play, and UCF is out of the inning. What a night for Jordan Spicer. He allows 1 run on 2 hits, 2 stranded on. Matthew Micah starts it. Hernandez will finish just in time. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 4-2. UCF in a game that is too close for comfort for either team.
Opportunities present themselves every day. Opportunities that move us forward. Opportunities to serve our time in your community. Explore your opportunities in the Air Force Reserve.
Strong in mind, strong in body, strong in school, sport, life.
The grind is 10% physical and 90% mental. The mind is the power.
The body is the means to jump higher, run faster,
be smarter, and live longer.
There is no weakness when it comes to seeking help.
We are stronger together.
So let's talk about it.
A waterfall starts with 1 drop.
Change starts with 1 person.
The American is dedicated to ending the stigma to mental health
and promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
We welcome you back in, Knights fans, with their team on top, 4-2 here in the bottom of the 8th, and UCF will bring Ray Alejo, Ben McCabe, and Anthony George to the plate. 6, 7, 8 here, looking for a little insurance before they try and close out the Green Wave in the top of the 9th. Tulane fans have made the trip over from New Orleans as well. Both bullpens right next to each other over the left field wall. You see Frenchies in the top of your shot. And we're ready to get underway. Brendan Solucci back out for his 2nd inning of relief. He got a strikeout of Chandler Robertson to end the inning in the 7th. Now he'll face Ray Alejo for the first time tonight. Alejo 0 for 2. He drew a walk and would score a run in the 6th. Works himself ahead in the count. We've seen a couple of fireballers the last 2 pitchers for Tulane in Green and Solucci. That one at 95 into the mitt of A.C. Owen.
Well, right now, Alejo, his line score is going to say 0 for 2, but he's done a lot of great stuff tonight. He's been on twice, scored 2 runs. He's still on 2 bases.
Late on this fastball, pops it up right side. Glancy won't run out of room and almost overran it. But that'll be the first out of the inning.
Saw that wall coming, wanted to find the perimeter, as you mentioned, nearly overran, went to the wall. And that ball would have been fair, and a runner would have been at second. Stretch out those long arms to make the catch.
There's plenty of foul territory behind first base, but once you get down into the corner, the stands come out, and there's literally 4 or 5 feet down the lines into the outfield.
And the wind has shifted, pushing it out to left.
Now Ben McCabe will come to the plate. Big hack for number 40, and we're underway there. First pitch to him is a strike. Ben had the RBI single to right field back in the 4th inning, laid down a sacrifice in the 6th. They haven't come in bunches for UCF tonight, but they have been effective, scoring 1 run in 4 different innings. They scored 1 in the 1st inning, and then 4, 5, 6 they were able to plate 1 in the bottom of the frame. McCabe behind in the count now, 0-2. This one's a slow hop. Artigues had to get it over to first in time, and does. Everybody just kind of held their breath as that one went through the middle of the infield to Artigues at second. 2 quick outs for Brendan Salucci.
It's the hard pan and just had to wait on that second hop. Quick transfer to the throwing hand.
Anthony George had a sac fly RBI back in the 6th inning. He would score Ray Alejo. Tonight he's 0 for 2.
Well, it's going to be Artigues, Bedgood, 0-5, 6 and 7 in the Green Wave order right now. Trailing by 2.
Here's the junior. Takes one that pops the mid at 96 miles an hour down low. Fastball again. This one gets away. Owen has to go out to grab it. You mentioned the order coming up for Tulane. Not a lot of other options if you wanted to have a pinch hitter. Maybe somebody that could give you a little spark. You already brought in A.C. Owen, who was a .271 hitter. You just don't have a lot of guys with that experience. You've got, a guy that's 2 of 3, and those are his only at-bats on the year. Maybe Ty Johnson with a shot. He's only played in 7 games, but he's hitting .286, so limited opportunities. Might have to dance with who brung you. Count now 2-1 to Anthony George. Oh, he got into that fastball, headed towards the left center field gap. Matthews is going back. It's up onto the berm. Anthony George with a little insurance here at Spectrum Field. Took a fastball and redirected it onto the berm. George now with 4 home runs on the season. It's 5-2 UCF.
Turned on it, and a dance from a UCF fan out there on the berm, having a good time. Was in the right spot, and he waited all night for this one.
He saw it coming just over his glove, but the youngster has himself a souvenir. Salucci's 6th home run that he's given up this year. Late on the fastball. This one's at 97 miles an hour. Jensen giving chase, but it'll be foul. Well, Anthony George already had 1 RBI on the night. Now he's got his first hit as well. The 4th home run of the year for the junior third baseman.
Well, both innings that Tulane has scored to try to get back in the game, UCF has answered both times with home runs. It was Mike with a leadoff home run in the 5th. Now the 2-out home run here in the 8th.
Hernandez quickly falls behind. The count now 0-2 on the shortstop, who's batting in the 9 hole. Tonight 0 for 3. This one's pulled foul left side. Well, if Tulane's going to do it, they can get out of this inning, come up in the top of the ninth. They're going to have to do it bit by bit. Can't win it all back on one swing. They'll need the middle of their order to protect, stay there. This one's pulled through the side into left field. Brandon Hernandez is not done. He's got a single. Now the 8th hit of the game for the Knights. And if this holds for them, they're going to have a lot of momentum going into semifinal Saturday. Pretty impressive showing here by the Knights.
Got down early yesterday to Memphis, and the Tigers looked pretty solid during that ball game. Then they started chipping away. Got the walk-off win. They carry the momentum in today. Got to feel good behind Spicer. Got to beat Cincinnati twice tomorrow. That's going to be an intriguing game. Game number 2 of the semifinals.
7 of the 9 starters came away with a hit or better tonight for UCF. Now Matthew Micah, who has reached base 3 times and has a home run, comes to the plate. Top of the order, it'll have to wait. Diving back in is Hernandez under a tag. Walking back over is Hernandez. Jeff Spicer, the starter for UCF, throw back over, is over 100 pitches now. With that insurance run, now it's a 3-run game. Do you feel more comfortable about sending him out there to get the complete game win, or do we need to bring in a hammer? Do we need to bring in a closer and make sure we move on to Saturday?
With a 3-run lead, I'm going to start him out there. I'm going to go with him, even though it's the longest outings he had in his college career, both by innings and by pitch count. I'm going to go with the Cal Roper philosophy here. Could be the last time you put on that UCF uniform. Give him an opportunity to get the 9-inning complete game.
Empty the tank. Throw the fireball. Try and keep it away from the powerful bats of Tulane.
Especially with potentially 2 games tomorrow.
Salucci really reared back with that one. And it's called strike 2. Micah at the top of the order came into the ballgame hitting .322 in his senior season. The home plate umpire, Shane Matheny, hearing a little chirping from the UCF fans, whose team leads by 3. Micah now with 7 home runs on the year. Sends this one past his teammate into right field, all the way into the left corner. Racing around second is Brandon Hernandez. Runners on the corners after Matthew Micah has a hot shot, his 2nd hit of the night.
Well, if they grab another run, Spicer's going to have a really comfortable lead to work with next inning. He just one more hit. All this coming with 2 out. 2-out homer, pair of 2-out singles.
Hernandez had that ball get up on him quick. He had to stop, let it fly by him, and then he turned the Jets around second to get into third. Dallas Beaver scheduled to come to the plate, but not before the pitching coach, Daniel Latham, will call time and go out to talk with Salucci. Salucci, who's been pitching up over 95 miles an hour, has given up a couple of hard hit balls. The fastball by Anthony George hit over the left center field wall. The single by Hernandez, and now the single into the right field corner by Matthew Micah. Just settling down his pitcher. They do have a right-hander warming for the Green Wave over the left field wall in the bullpen.
Taking a look again at what Spicer's going to have, indeed, if he does come out. Artigue's 0 for 3. Bedgood 1 for 3 with a double. Nieman was 0 for 2, but Owen came in that spot. He's 0 for 1. So the trio that he is going to face is a combined 1 for 7. So give him that opportunity. And again, in the back of your mind, you got to think you get a complete game. You got a pretty fresh bullpen for a potential doubleheader tomorrow.
So Salucci, calmed down by his pitching coach. Runners on the corners. He's 1 out from getting out of the inning. And Dallas Beaver back up. Walked twice tonight. He also singled in the 5th. Beaver's 1 for 2. It was his walk-off yesterday against Memphis that sent the Tigers home and Cincinnati into this elimination game. An 8-7 victory. He's ahead in the count now, 2-0. So Cincinnati scores a run with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. One hopper, that one hit the umpire. Darting in is Hernandez, and he'll score. Pitch got away from A.C. Owen. It's 6-2 UCF. Boy, he's got some wheels coming in from third.
Took a risk when he saw it get away from Owen, but his body was going away from home plate. Owen made the smart decision not to throw home. Number one, he's not going to get him. And at that angle, only bad things can happen. And now everything's starting to roll for UCF. They've created their opportunities of 3 2-out hits, and they take advantage of a big mistake that time by Tulane.
Unfortunately, Salucci uncorks his 7th wild pitch of the season. Beaver still has a man in scoring position. That's Micah. This one gets away. Might rule that a pass ball on Owen. And now trotting down is Beaver. Runners on the corners again after he draws his 3rd walk of the ballgame.
Here comes the guy in Osick with a pair of doubles already, and took a nice play by Haskin to retire him in the 3rd and a walk, so he's been on 3 times already.
Connor Pellerin, number 41, the sophomore, looks to be charged with getting us out of the inning. Tulane will change pitchers. 2 on for UCF. We'll be back after this. Knights lead by 4. Looking for more on the American Digital Network.
This is St. Pete Clearwater, home to 35 miles of white sand bliss. But it's more than emerald surf and Gulf breezes. The beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of life, nature, art, music, or whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast in St. Pete Clearwater. Love the beach.
More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American, powered by determination.
We all dream about our next vacation, but some of us turn those dreams into action. The bookers, the doers, they hit that confirmation button and let's goers. Because bookers know that the perfect place to stay is right there for the booking. Be a booker at Booking.com, the world's #1 choice for booking accommodations.
Scores!
3 strikeouts in a row.
Dominance for a 4th straight year. Cueto from 30! Unbelievable!
And be able to celebrate this type of championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
We welcome you back in. Bottom of the 8th inning. Tulane has gone to a reliever in Connor Pellerin, who has come in with runners on the corners and 2 outs.
A sophomore right-hander out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Pellerin, 2-3 in 20 outings, 2 starts, 2 saves, but a 9.23 ERA. It's kind of feast or famine on his numbers. 26 1/3, only 16 hits, but 31 runs and 27 earned. He's given up 31 walks, but he struck out 37. Only a 172 average against, then 6 wild pitches and 3 hit batters. So it's all over the place this year for Pellerin. He's not faced UCF, and he needs just to get 1 out to get his offense to the plate and 1 last chance.
He'll have to face Tyler Osick, the heavy-hitting first baseman, already 2 doubles in tonight's ball game. Tyler drew a walk in his last at bat. Won't offer at this one.
Obviously pitches from the stretch with runners on, but has that little offset stance once he comes ready. There it is, leaning over.
The 6'3" sophomore comes inside on Osick. And if that's to be believed, 95 miles an hour. That one had some good zip. You saw the deep breath there by Osick. Ooh, that's too tight for comfort. Whew. Osick's ahead in the count, 2-0. Won't offer at that one. The Knights drew 3 walks back in the 7th. They already have one here with Beaver standing on 8th.
Osick trying to be the 5th Knight to reach with a pair of outs. Remember, they retired Alejo on a fly out, McCabe on a ground out before the 2-out home run.
Osick watches that one come across.
Well, what makes him effective at times and wild at times, that long, lanky frame, it's very compact, but when the ball finally gets out of the hand, looks like it's reaching right at you.
Osick offers at this one. That'll get out of here. You do have Dallas Beaver on first base, your designated hitter. Maybe a thought on a pinch runner there? You want Osick to put this ball in play and try and maximize the run differential between you and this Tulane offense. Count now is run full against Osick with 2 outs and 2 on.
Now watch this, Garrett, when he pitches. He closes the gap from that long arm to the plate.
Got him. A strikeout looking to freeze 2 men on. Osick retired for just the 2nd time tonight via a strikeout. We're 8 complete going to the top of the 9th. Tulane needs 4 to close the gap. Stay with us. You're watching the American Baseball Championships presented by the Air Force Reserve.
On your mark, get set, let's go. It goes. Pep rally, pep rally, pep rally. It's a pep rally.
Tired, huh?
NBA superstar.
Gatorade Zero. All the electrolytes, zero sugar. Get more out of zero.
More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American, powered by determination.
UCF 6, Tulane 2. The Green Wave are in danger of their season coming to a close in Clearwater for the 3rd year in a row. Tulane was the #1 overall seed in the conference in 2016, played in the NCAA regionals. But this season, they will need to win the championship outright here in Clearwater if they want to advance into more postseason play. You've got to be excited if you're a UCF fan about the opportunity for Jordan Spicer to close this game out tonight and go 9 strong innings against a Tulane offense. He has limited them to just 2 runs here. His team's up by 4.
Already a career high 8 innings, trying to match Caleb Roper's complete game. Already the 2nd longest outing in this championship tournament. Agnos and Williams would go 7 innings, but Roper had the complete game.
Jonathan Artigues has 7 hits in this tournament all time, but none tonight, and he swings through strike 1.
Well, they've got to go up there to the mentality. They don't need the hit. They don't need the double, the home run here. They need to get on base, keep extending it, get it to the next man.
You see the pitch count on Spicer, the senior for UCF. That one at 83 miles an hour. Artigues flew out in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th, struck out in the 6th.
My guess is Greg Lovelady would give him 1 mistake, 1 runner on, and at that point, you probably think about bringing in a closer.
Like to see Artigues come through here, a .315 hitter who started every game this year for the Green Wave. Just get a solid bat on the ball, even if it ends up being an out. He'll take a deep breath and step back into the box. The count's in his favor at 2-1. Spicer for UCF has struck out 5 tonight. Fastball at 90, but it's elevated. A right-hander getting warm for UCF in the bullpen. Spicer staring into McCabe. He'll swing at that one and send it a long way, but foul into right. Now the count is full.
Good pitch. Just come at him, challenge him. You get the 4-run lead. You're going to throw strikes. You created soft contact all night.
Tulane won their conference tournament opener against UCF 5-2. They're in danger of going 2 in barbecue to end this tournament.
Last thing you want to do is put a free guy on. You start stacking those guys up. Takes a lot less hits to score runs.
Breaking ball hit on the right side of the infield. Micah charges, flips to first, out number 1.
That's the big one right there. You retire the leadoff man. Makes it a lot more difficult to score runs when you get that first guy.
It was a breaking ball again. Wasn't able to barrel it up, and Micah takes care of him. Now the left-hander, David Bedgood, will come to the plate. He's doubled and is 1 for 3 tonight, but that was back in the 2nd inning. Spicer has retired him twice in a row. Infield comes set. Ooh, and he plunked him, and we've got a base runner. 90 miles an hour in on Bedgood, and he's on board for the 2nd time tonight, and that one smarts.
That may be the one he gets as far as a mistake for Greg Lovelady. Got him right in the right calf, just a little bit below the knee.
I think all you're trying to do there is just get him to come off the plate a little bit. You went too far inside. That's a guy with 8 home runs on the year and 30 RBIs.
Smart move here by McCabe. Go out of here and settle him down. Just let him know, no big deal. Just one pitch got away from you. Double play could end the ball game.
First batter hit tonight for Tulane. Matthew Micah started the ball game being hit by a pitch for UCF. Looks like he'll be okay. Coach Jewett will send him back in. There's the band leader for the Green Wave faithful here at Spectrum Field. Extra base hit here would have her out of her seat. Now A.C. Owen will come to the plate. Owen, the senior, in what is likely his final at-bat for the Green Wave. Left-handed bat has a nice hole on the right side to pull through if he can make solid contact.
Yeah, Spicer would love to see a ground ball rolled over on in the infield. A 47th double play of the year would put them into the semifinals tomorrow afternoon against the Cincinnati Bearcats.
Owen ahead in the count, 1-0. Offers it this one, left side. Robertson coming in left. There's the 2nd out of the inning. And that might bring the UCF fans to their feet for Jordan Spicer and the Knights.
Yet another pop-up into the left field. Went after one a little bit outside.
Now Luke Glancy will come to the plate with 1 on, 2 out. Spicer really looking strong out there. 112 pitches in. He is 1 out away from delivering victory for the Knights. Bedgood takes off from first base, but this one's fouled by Glancy. And now the Green Wave are down to their final out. The black and gold fans come to their feet here at Spectrum Field. Jordan Spicer wants a new ball to work with. An exciting moment deep in our ball game. The 6th seed, UCF Knights, trying to knock out 3-seed Tulane. Outside corner, runner motors into second, and the game continues. That one listed at 93 miles an hour. Jeff, we talked about emptying the tank. He had about everything he had with that last fastball offering.
Find a little energy here, try to do it again.
Now that was outside. Tough to lay off of it, though. Standing off second base now, David Bedgood. 1-2. Struck him out. UCF upsets Tulane. They're going to the semifinals of the American Baseball Championships behind a complete game victory by Jordan Spicer.
Spicer was brilliant tonight, Garrett, and he proved that you don't have to throw a complete game by just banging guys out at home plate. 6 strikeouts is what was impressive. He created so much soft contact tonight, just kept him in the air all night long. Easy outs, 14 flyouts.
Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll have much more when we return. The Knights victorious here in Tampa Bay. They're moving on to Saturday's game. Stay with us. We'll have more here on the American Digital Network.
Opportunities present themselves every day. Opportunities that move us forward. Opportunities to serve our time in your community. Explore your opportunities in the Air Force Reserve.
People say we're big. Wow. Well, what is big?
This is big.
It's an energy. An opportunity. So go on. Dream big. Because big is just the beginning.
I got it. This is big.
This is St. Pete Clearwater, home to Clearwater Beach, the #1 beach in the U.S. as chosen by travelers on TripAdvisor. It's not just white sand and Gulf breezes. Beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast. Visit stpclearwater.com. Love the beach.
The senior right-hander Jordan Spicer improves to 3-0 on the year, throws his first complete game victory, a 6-2 affair against the Tulane Green Wave. Let's go down with Haley Outen.
Got Coach and a couple of pretty cool kiddos here. Coach, Jordan Spicer able to go 9 innings tonight. Why was his stuff so effective?
Well, one, we're going to praise God. I mean, a huge win. Jordan's had a crazy roller coaster of a career. And, we talk about playing our best baseball at the end of the year. And in fact, he's playing the best baseball at the end of his career. And unbelievable. He's been our best pitcher the last 4 or 5 weeks. And that's the biggest start of his career, probably the biggest start of his life. And he pitched unbelievable. I mean, just was able to command everything, being able to attack the zone. I mean, to do that to that offense, you got to be really, really good. And he pitched his tail off tonight. I can't be more proud of the kid for everything he's been through. He's been through a lot in his life. He's been a lot in the last 2 years as a member of our program. To be a college graduate and to pitch like that in his last last game of the regular season. Hopefully get another one in the tournament. But for what possibly could be his last start, man, I can't be more proud of him.
In a tournament setting where there's an unknown amount of games in a week and you really have to use the whole entire team, how impactful was it tonight that you didn't have to dip into the bullpen?
Yeah, I mean, our bullpen's thin as it is with all the injuries we've had. And, obviously those guys throwing 2+ innings each, our two main guys, on Wednesday. We needed it. And, again, for him to step up in this situation with what was on the line, possibly our season, let alone our tournament, it was huge. Saved the bullpen, and he pitched his tail off. It's unbelievable.
6 runs scattered over 5 innings. How balanced was your offensive effort?
Great. I mean, we did some amazing things, some big 2-out hits. Obviously, the home runs by Micah and George were huge. We answered. Every time they scored, we scored in the bottom half. That's a momentum killer for them. And for that offense, you do not want to see them get going. And our offense did a tremendous job of being able to answer, chip away. Again, I would have liked to see some more crooked numbers. But when you just continue to get guys on, get the big hits, find a way, it's just been the mantra of this team the last few weeks. I'm really proud of them.
Have to win 2 games against Cincinnati tomorrow. How does your team approach tomorrow?
Yeah, we just go one pitch at a time. We'll continue the thing that we've done all year, and just find a way, and continue to do the things we've done the last month.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Haley, thank you very much. Tulane finishes their season at 32-26 overall. Congratulations to Coach Jewett and his club, who broke so many records this season with their offense. And UCF improves to 15 games over 500 at 36-21. Let's go back down to Haley, who's got our complete game winner.
Jordan, able to pitch a complete game tonight. How confident were you getting the ball?
Oh, man, I was so confident. I was confident in my teammates. I know they have my back. They've been picking me up all year, even when I was struggling. So the least I can do is pick them up when they need me most.
Longest. Gonna get to oh my gosh. They're not excited for you at all, right? Longest outing of your collegiate career. Why were you able to go the distance?
I don't know, man. It's just win or go home. Just my team needed me. I just need to execute one pitch at a time, and man, I just had fun. This could have been my last game I ever pitched, but you know what? We get to play tomorrow, so that's all I care about.
You just mentioned it, being a senior and not knowing when it's going to be your last game. How memorable are these moments with your teammates right here?
Man, win or lose, man, I love my brothers, man. That's all I want to do is just play one more game with my brothers, man. I love them. And they got my back, and I hope they know I got their back. I love my brothers. I can't wait to go to battle with them again tomorrow.
All right, good luck, Jordan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Haley, great interviews down there. Almost got mobbed by an entire team showing love to their starter, Jordan Spicer. Jeff, thoughts about tonight's win for UCF?
Well, pretty impressive. And for the 3rd game this week, Tulane's offense kept a little bit off balance, kept them up in the air, never let them bear the balls up. And the complete game is going to allow Greg Lovelady to really utilize that bullpen tomorrow, especially if they force that 2nd game.
6 runs on 9 hits, no errors for UCF. 2 runs on 8 hits, clean in the field for Tulane. The Green Wave's season ends in Clearwater for the 3rd year in a row. UCF's moving on to semifinal Saturday. The Knights will try and win their first conference tournament championship since 2002. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Keep the rest of your Memorial Day weekend locked to the American Digital Network. Again, final score, UCF 6, Tulane 2. This has been the American Baseball Championships presented by the Air Force Reserves.